testy, testy. Make sure you can all see and hear me. Can you see and hear me, everybody? Everybody! Can I be seen and heard? Okay, looks like I think you can see and hear me. Testing, testing. Let me know in the chat. Yep, hello, cool. Right, I can close that down. Close that down. Right, I'll just give it a few minutes for everybody to turn up. Who have we got in so far? Let's have a look. Grinnell Dupre, I'm ready. 8 minutes. Hey Grinnell. Scott, hey Scott. Lovely sunny day here in the windy north. We've got not sunny today, but it's quite nice, quite pleasant. Let's have a look. Chris is in. Hey Chris. Puffins in boxes. Good news, Fox. The puffins have begun to arrive. Yes. Yes. Happy puffin moments. Sergeant T. Baggins. It's good. 5 out of 5, says Grinnell. Mr. Plaza, both. Good. All clear. Check, check. Good afternoon, says Andy. Hey Andy B67. Just give it a minute or two for folks to start applying themselves to the internet. How is everybody today? Tell me how your day is going. Hey Christopher. Hello from Boston, Massachusetts. Ooh, I must go and play some Fallout 4. Keep it clean, Boston. I'm trying to think. I was trying to think then of some of the announcements in the metro stations in Fallout 4, and I've forgotten all of them. Stash it, don't trash it. Keep it clean, Boston. Tony Blackwell, hi there all. Hi Tony. Give it a minute or two. As always, the little preamble bit. Camo team, hey Camo team. All is well here. Mr. Plaza says, and Plaza says he's painting today, so good. Got up late and just fixing lunch, says Tony. Just finished some Devastator, says Sergeant Sir T. Baggins. I'm getting everybody's names wrong. Hello. I'm trying to read the screen halfway across the room. Just chilling, Fox, says Scott. Painting the PG unicorn so long, says Grinnell. Yeah. I haven't got the balls to go and do a perfect grade unicorn. I've half done a master grade. I've done the mega size. I don't want to do a unicorn again. Let's have a look. What are you painting, Plaza? Tell us what you're painting. Sir T. Baggins, just finished some Devastators. Make sure you post them in the Boom Hut, Sir T. Baggins, so people can see. Chris says he's just like at a space station. You're playing Elite Dangerous, I can tell. How much money have you got now, Chris? I've still only got like 3 million space monies. Don't, it's a pain, says Grinnell. Yeah, I've no intention of doing a unicorn ever again. I never finished the master grade because I just kind of got fatigued. It was the full armour, so I had all the weapons and everything, and I never finished it. I gave it away as a giveaway prize in the end. I kind of half did some weathering. I can't remember who won it now, but they've got a half painted, half weathered, full armour MG unicorn. Was out scouting puffins last night, but didn't see any, says Scott. Or if you go during the day when it's light and you can see things. Did you see that article about the guy that found the dead puffin and he put it under a UV light and his beak was all glowy? How cool is that? Do puffins have beaks or bills? I'm not sure. Fallout 4 was disappointing since they got rid of Brighton where I live because of spec management. Yeah. 12 million but almost fully upgraded my chieftain. Yeah, so if you crash it twice, you've lost your 12 million. Brilliant. Right, we should be ready to go in a moment. I will get a new ship, Chris, but right now my Cobra Mark III Cobra. Only cost me, I don't know, $500,000 to replace it, or 50 grand or something. And it gets me about. I can do cargo and passenger, so I want to move up to something bigger. I might go for an ASP Explorer, maybe. Maybe. We'll see. I just don't get time to play on it now. Went to all the hassle of buying a HOTAS stick, and now I hardly ever play it. It's just typical me, that. Right. Let us get cracking in a moment. Okay, should we get going? Should we do some work? Don't break them then, says Chris. Yeah. Right, let's do some work, shall we? Hello everybody, it's Foxx from Model Making Guru here. You see how I segue into the start then? It's really weird for the people that are watching before I start, because it's weird. It's Foxx from Model Making Guru here. How is everybody? Welcome to a new series. I'm going to start doing this on Sundays, 3 PM on Sundays. I'm going to start doing live streams regularly every Sunday, because I've got all my own builds. Like I'm doing the E-models builds, or I've got some more of the Modiphius builds coming in the future, and just my own builds anyway. I've got the Strike Rouge Tory to do, and I don't really get time to do anything else because the desk is full of stuff. But I want to get my army done, my Warhammer army, and I'll never get it done because Cam, my local Warhammer store manager, says get your army in and I'll show you how to play the game. And I said, well, it would be against my religion to bring unpainted miniatures, so I need to get them painted so I can go and try playing a game. So I thought, well, why not I just start doing it on weekends? Because normally there's no real weekend for me. I just 7 days a week or whatever I'm doing during the week, I do at the weekends. So I thought, why not I split the weekends off, and that's my me time when I can do my builds. And then I can work on my army. And I thought, why not just live stream it? Because it's fun, hang out with you guys. We have a good time, we have a good chat. I get bugger all done, but hey, we get to hang out. So that's what it's going to be. Sundays, 3 PMs, is going to be my Warhammer army build, the unending forces of the holy contrivance, or the unending whatevers of the thing, or whatever I called them in the video the other week. So yeah, we're going to get them done. So obviously here's a load of dudes, so we're finished. That's going to be it. Thanks for watching. Come again next week. No, this is what I've got built so far. Just so you know, this week I have been mostly painting the figures for the E-models build for the Skitter. They're not finished yet, but they're getting there. I've not done my best job ever on the faces. They're not absolutely fantastic, but they're getting there. I'm getting practice in on painting figures, and I'm getting used to my new oh, hello. Hello. I don't know if you can hear that, but they're drilling next door. Fantastic. Tell me if you can hear that drilling in the background. If you can, I do apologise. I can't do anything about it. Please stop drilling. Please stop drilling. Oh, we did. Brilliant. Yeah, so yeah, good practice these. Good practice getting these painted up. So I'm getting used to faces and clothes and things. I've tried to do some layering on the clothing, but it's not brilliant, but they're coming along nicely. So it's all just good practice on those guys. That's for the E-models builds. They're not for my army. As you know, the army I'm building will be a Principality of Zeon themed army. After the competition I ran, the winner presented me some TriStar Ace type pilot characters. So I'm going to use that colour scheme for some of the figures and some other Zeon colour schemes. And I'm going to have all a mix of figures. What I've basically done is, let's have a look. I have no knowledge at all of how to build an army or make a list. So I've got the big book of things. And it's got the pages on how you can put your army together, if I can find it. I think it's in this book. With the points and stuff. I don't know if it's in here somewhere. There's a page somewhere that shows you how many units you can have in a battalion or an army and other things. I don't know exactly where it is. It might not be this particular book, I guess. I might have to go and spend money and buy the book that shows me. So, but there goes the drill again. So I don't know exactly how many I'm going to use and how I'm going to break it up. Oh, you can hear that drilling, can you? Fantastic. Well, hopefully it won't last long. This is perfect timing. My apologies. They're drilling into brick. Okay, it isn't in this book, but there is a list somewhere that shows you can build a battalion, and you can have this many heavy units, this many infantry units, this many vehicles. So I need to get that book. Obviously, I need to go and spend some money at my Warhammer store. But it's going to be an Astra Militarum book. So I have Tech Codex. and I've got my list of points, but I'm not, until I get that book with an exact idea of how I'm going to build the army up, I'm just going to wing it and go off things I think look cool. So the plan is I'll just slowly build up my forces, and what I'll probably end up with is like 3,000 troops, of which I can probably use half. So at the moment I'm just going to build them up willy-nilly. I'm not going in with a specific plan, although there are some things I've got specifically planned. There are going to be at least 3 knights I'll build and paint. One will be done up as a Zaku, one will be painted up as a Goof, and one will be painted up as Char's Zaku, but that will have the 3D printed Space Wolf's head and feet that I got from Shapeways. I got them, so I may as well use them. It's not going to be relevant to Char, but it'll look different to the rest. It'll make it look like 3 times more. So we've got some bits and bobs already built, which I did quite a few weeks ago. I've got built my Let's Start Collecting Astra Militarum. So I've got, what have we got? We've got our Lehman Russ with a variety of cannons. It's one of a droopy look. Yep, more excited now. No, he's not excited. Got a Lehman Russ, and we have a whole collection of grunts. Grunt Imperial Guard dudes. There's a couple of dudes to go on the last cannon. So I've got these guys built up, not painted yet. Because what I'll probably do is I'll build up the troops first, and then I'll start planning how I'm going to paint them, so who will be what colour schemes. So we've got our little 10-man squad of 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 dudes and a commissar. So that's a little squad there. We've got a heavy unit here, heavy weapons unit. We've got a las cannon. I did some reading and I decided the las cannon would be the best one, but I'll probably build all 3 eventually. And a Lehman Russ. So we got these guys already built, but that's not what we're going to be working on today. So these guys will be the grunt troops, and I'll probably just paint these as bog standard cannon fodder Zeon troops. So it'll probably be mostly green outfit for them, just like an olive drab type thing. Not decided on the colour scheme for the tanks yet. I do have though a whole mess of Zeon decals. For, like, you know, symbols and things. So I'll just put these 2 on side. There's bags of things. Got my little Lehman Russ with the dude in it. So I'll put that there. I'll put that there. So that is going to be... I'll probably end up... If you build a full army, you might have like 3 or 4 of these. You do end up having to spend money buying the same thing like 3 or 4 times. So, yeah, that is the downside. But what I'll do is I'll get like 1 unit painted, like one of these, or the next thing I'm going to build today, painted up, and then at least I can start playing. Just put my little tank, put that in the bag. But we're not going to be working on these today, because obviously they are done. What I will be doing today is, I will show you in a minute. Put everything in the right bag. This is the exciting bit where you get to see me move packages around. It's fantastic, isn't it? What we're going to work on today, or start working on today, is the Militarum Tempestus. Now these are more elite troops, they're like the SAS types, Spec Ops. So these are going to have a different colour scheme, and I'm not decided on the colour scheme for these guys yet. So this is what we're going to work on today. Today will just be like taking things off the sprues and denubbing. I was going to get my little sorting tray out. In fact, let me get my little sorting tray, hang on. Sorting tray out. Wow, it's got a lot of dust on there. Blimey, Riley. You get the dust off that. Woo. Dusting, dusting all the dust away. Well, it was covered in dust. Not used it for a while. Now I'm going to need this when I'd start doing my Master Grade Strike Rouge. So we'll get dudes cut out and put into these little boxes so I can keep them separate. And that's what we'll start on. Now, equipment-wise, I have the most important tool of all of them, if I can pick it up, which is, of course, my enormous coffee. It's absolutely required for any building process. So let's have a quick look at what the chat is doing. So T-Baggins, I recently came up with a conversion idea to do a Splinter Cell Assassin or Scout. Oh yeah, cool. I'm debating, I was thinking today I should do a Stargate SG-1 style group of soldiers, but it wouldn't fit with the Zeon. Scott Sutherland, me and Mike Mountain are going puffin spotting when he arrives in a couple of weeks. Yes, Mike's coming up to see you, isn't he? Yeah, make sure he takes lots of pictures. Timothy Podgorny, hello Fox, popping in and out of work. Hey Timothy. Finishing a RE100 Vidar, it says M Plaza. Pineapple says Ghostline, we're doing that again, are we? Chris says yes, lovely noise. I think she's stopped now. We've got she's actually came round yesterday and said I'm going to be having the roof done next week, so there might be loads of noise. So I don't know what we have. If they're doing construction work next Sunday, we may have to not do the show, so we'll wait and see. Ooh, secret power, says Grenell. Bring on the drill, nothing can stop greatness. Are you going to have a prince with your principality, says Tony. I'll probably have a named character, like one of the character things, like a you know, a big thing. I don't know. I've got to research into who you can have, who I can have when I make my army. I say I'm not planning it. I'm just going to buy the cool kits that look cool. I'll probably end up having to buy like 2 or 3 of these and 2 or 3 of the start collecting Imperial Guard and, you know, a couple of Lehman Russes and things like that. So we'll see. Stroom is in. Hey Stroom. Check Mike's pockets when he leaves. Yeah, he'll have puffins in there. So I should put my enormous coffee of happiness down somewhere. Yeah. How about there? Tissue, of course, for getting the litre of coffee out of my moustache, because it sucks it up like a sponge. I'll put these little figures for the E-models build out of the way, so I don't destroy them by accident, because I will. I'm just putting together the episode, painting those figures, so that should be up in the next few days for patrons, and then week after for everybody else. So let's get cracking. So what do we have in this? There's no space on this desk. This desk is not big enough for live streaming. Is that a puffin in your pocket, says Scott? Yes, it's always a puffin in my pocket. What have we got? What are the scores on the doors? So in this kit we have a Taurox Prime, which is the armoured car, which would look much better if it had wheels, but it has tracks, so oh well, never mind. So we have a Taurox Prime, which interestingly has details underneath, which is quite nice, and it has an interior as well, which is excellent. I was looking at a couple of sprues of this in the shop the other day, because a guy was making one on my desk. And then we have lots of dude bits. Dude bits. And then a sprue for the Commissar, which I'm going to guess is exactly the same Commissar figure I've got already. I think it's just the same one. We have... Does Citadel still do the metal figures? I don't think so. I think they might do the odd one here and there, but I don't think they do anymore. Nobody really does metal figures anymore, I don't think. Well, some do, but not massive. Loads of decals. Armageddon! Instructions for the Commissars, the same ones I got in my Start Collecting Astra Militarum pack. We have the destructions for the Taurox, because again that's sold as a separate kit. Doodle-doo, doodle-doo, doodle-doo. It might take a while to build that. You get dudes that go inside it as well. Kick ass. You get a driver and a gunner. So you can build variations. I think I like the one with all the missiles on the back. That looks kind of kick ass. Does look silly with tracks though. And then we have destructions for te dudes. Te many dudes. Oh, they have half legs. Okay, that's interesting. And they have many heads, many heads. I'm going to go for the helmety heads, I think, because I can't be bothered painting that many faces. And it'll be much quicker to just paint helmets. You watch, it'll be even harder. Okay, so what we're probably going to do today is start on the figures. Just get them all cut out and ready. Scott Sutherland said there are wheel conversions available for this kit. Yeah, okay, noted. Although I'd probably put it on the table and somebody would go, oh, that's not an official thing. He's drilling again. There goes the drill. Somebody would be like, that's not an official thing. You can't play that. They wouldn't in my local Warhammer store, but I know somebody somewhere would. But I'll have a look at that. So that's that. Let's get this back in the box. Get back in the box. Seriously, I've been looking at this box all week going, can I open it yet? Can I open it yet? Can I open it yet? let's make some dudes. Jordan Nash, I like the timing for the live stream. I can finally join one. Yay! Hey Jordan. Half-track version would look good, says Tony. Yeah, it would actually. Very German. Das ist richtig. No, Tony, says Scott. Pretty much all plastic now. Yeah, they don't. I think they might occasionally do one, but no, they don't. Everybody's plastic nowadays because plastic gives you better quality. Glued to the sprue. Hashtag teaming up, says Paul. Hey, Paul. Hey, Fox, just had to chop off like a quarter of ice from my bike just to get home, says Nim. Wow. Where are you living? Are you one of these like people in Canada? Or do you live in the Arctic Circle? Right, so let us do some work. Now, I can't promise this will be in any way interesting, because it is going to be just me cutting things off the sprues and tidying them up and trimming them and snipping them. So don't expect too much interesting things today. But we'll get cracking. We will get cracking and see what happens. Now, I do like cloaks, but they're a ball ache to paint. Right. Who do we make first? Tempestal Prime. Now, are these actually numbered or are they just random sprues? Ooh, they're actually numbered. Oh, we're hammering now next door. She's very nice, actually, the lady that lives next door. She's very, very nice, so I'm not going to tell her off or anything. I don't mind. Right, so are these are numbered, aren't they? 58, 58. Yeah, I think that's the sprue we want. That is the sprue we need. So he's going to look like that. It's quite a good-looking dude. He's got like a cloak and helmet, and yeah, it looks kind of awesome. So we're going to do him first. Western New York, says Nim. Wow, and you're getting snow and ice. Wow. We've got we had a sunny, warm day yesterday, and today's not too bad. Clearly, your weather is just suck, and our weather is just awesome. I'll need some sandy, won't I? Let's get some sandy going on. There it is. That's not the right one. That is the right one. Little file, just in case. Just in case. Now, I made a terrible mistake and not put a new blade in my knife, but never mind. Right, let's crack on. Now, if you want to ask a question, if you're watching this not on YouTube, by the way, if you're watching it somewhere else than YouTube, as always, if you want to join in the live chat, which you should do because that's where all the fun is today, then just pop along to my YouTube channel. If you're watching somewhere else, just click on the YouTube icon in the bottom. Where's the camera? Bottom right of the screen, and that'll take you to the YouTube channel where you can join in the live chat. If you need to ask me a question, and I hope you do because that gives me material to talk about, then put your question in all capital letters. I will be focusing on what I'm doing, so I won't be able to see the chat all the time. The chat's just here. So apologies if I miss your question. We'll take breaks regularly to look at the chat. You're more than welcome to use Super Chat if you wish. It's the little $ underneath the chat bit where you type your message. You're more than welcome to give that a go. That would be lovely of you if you did, because it helps keep me supported. It just pops your comment up in a big coloured box and I can see it, and I'll be aware when it pops up. But feel free, it's completely optional. Right, let's get cracking. So, what have we got first? We need 58 and 59. Let's find 58 and also 59. 58. Nearly stabbed myself with the clippers. I don't know if they'll be stabberty today. There might be. We'll see. Right, well, there's 59. This will be not very exciting, I suspect, for you to watch. I've nearly finished watching all of SG1. Stargate SG1. Nearly. 58 and 59. There's 58. Nearly finished. I'm on season 10. I'm about 6 episodes in. And then when that's finished, I can go and watch me some Atlantis. And then when that's finished, I can go and watch me some Universe. And then when that's finished, I'll just be sad because there'll be nothing else to watch then. Adam Minster, hey Adam. Tim L, hello Tim. Hello to Fox for everyone. Near midnight here in Singapore, so we'll be on and off for a bit. So we'll be on for a bit. Sorry Fox, but well wishes and blessings. Thank you very much. Adam Minster says, yes, you can get third-party wheels for the Torox. Victoria Miniatures in Australia do quite a good one. Also, you say though, Fox, not sure if you'd be allowed to use it in a GW store. My local manager, oh wow, I'll say that again with words. My local manager is kind of like, I don't give a shit what you play. He's alright. But yes, there are people who go, "Oh my god, this is not an official pet." Although, it has to be said, I won't mention any names, but somebody from my local store recently played in a tournament of some sort, and they had the Spec Marines with 3D third-party packs on the back, jump packs, jet packs, whatever, backpacks. And I was like, "Are they going to let you play that in Nottingham in the official things?" And they were like, "I don't know," and they did apparently. They didn't mind. They didn't know. I don't know. They didn't notice probably. 11 and 9. 11 and also 9. Do these follow any pattern at all? 11. 11. Is it even on this sprue? No. Obviously not. Sigh. That's all legs and weapons. 11. There we go. 11. 11 and 9. 11 and 9. Do I want 11 and 9? 11 and 9. This may actually be a very frustrating stream to watch, because what you learn about me is that that's not piece number 11. There it is. What you learn about me is that I work very, very slowly. I work very, very slowly anyway. And when it comes to like the building part, I am really slow. It takes me ages to find a piece on a sprue. I'm just rubbish. So it might be like watching paint dry these episodes, but never mind. Right, 11 and 9. If it's a gunpla, I'd know exactly what I was looking at, because I'd be like, "Oh, well, that's an upper thigh, and I know what sprue that's on." Whereas in reality, these are all 9s. In reality, of course, I don't know anything on these sprues, so let's find out. So as always, I'm leaving a little bit of the nub behind. I do also have a pack of, this is the start collecting Tempestus, but I also have a pack of the smaller pack that just comes with the 5 dudes and the commander. I've also got that pack as well, so there's lots of these like Tempestus dudes to make. I need a container of some sort. Get in there. 57 we need. Heinz 57. Pine of the Apple, says Ghost Lyle. Do you know, I actually bought a few weeks ago, well, a couple of months ago, I was in Aldi and had to go and do some shopping. In fact, no, I was in Tesco's and I had to do some shopping. And I just had to pick up, like, you know, bog rolls and mushrooms and stuff like that, just normal things, domestos and something. And for some reason, and I don't know why, I was walking past like the fruit and veg section and I just grabbed a pineapple, like a whole pineapple. I was like, I'll get that because it looks cool. And then I got it home and then I realised I haven't got a clue what you do with pineapples. So unfortunately, it just sat around in the fridge for like 3 weeks and then we threw it away, which was a shame. 56. This is a 3-part cloak. Wow. 56. Oh, it's a jacket, I see. Well, I seriously hope that when you put this coat together, all the seam lines are hidden. When I did the sniper, which is this dude here, when I did this sniper, which you guys can't really see because it's miles away, the cloak is actually 2 parts. It's this bit on this arm here, and then there's this part of the cloak here, and there's a big massive seam line, join line right down there that I had to fill in. But you'll be glad to know you can just fill it in with sprue goo, and it didn't require really much sanding at all. So if you've got cloaks and coats with seam lines on, it's actually easier to use sprue goo and not filler. Where was I up to? Done that. Head 86. 86. It won't be on this sprue, or will it? I don't know. Let's find out. That's not 86. I kind of look by looking at, so I used to do in Gunpla, I looked for the part, not the actual number, and I kind of keep forgetting there's an entire numbering system on these sprues. 86. 82, 82, 85, 84, 83. Well, there's 85. Where's 86? I'm being special. Being special now. Yeah, it's 86. 87, 88, 89, 90. 82, 83, 84, 85. So logically, 86 would be... somewhere. Where are you? Where are you, 86? You're going to make me look on a third sprue now, aren't you? Oh. This is why watching me making things can be frustrating as hell, because it's frustrating as hell, basically. Fox, you didn't tell YouTube how to pineapple. I will never tell anyone how to pineapple. Put lime in da coconut. Is that a Bones reference I see there? Put lime in the coconut. Aha, 86. Wait a minute. Wait a minute. Wait a minute. All these parts that I've taken off here are also on here. Oh, this is two separate kits you get. Oh, I see. There's more 57s there. Does it say to make this twice? Choose to make either a Tempestor Prime Stage 5 or a Tempestor Stage 6. Stage what? Who now? With the what now? What's the difference between a Stage 5 and a Stage... Oh, this is where my lack of Warhammer knowledge comes out. But it doesn't give you any parts that are optional. So what's the difference between a Stage 5 and a Stage 6? How do I know the difference? Oh, I see, you got... So the only option you've got is the hand with the weapon in it, and that's the only bit that gives you a choice. I don't know which makes it a 5 and a 6. Ah, I'm going to make this up. No, I have the song stuck in my head, says Gwinnell. Lime in the... Yeah, I only know that song from Bones, because I used to watch Bones. I love Bones. Okay, so if that's got a head on it there, which I've now lost again. If that's duplicated, there's his head. So why hasn't this one got a head on it? Or have I just been special, not noted? Am I being... Oh, there it is! Oh, do you know? So we got a sprue with everything, every other 80 number apart from 6. We've got a sprue with 86 and a sprue with 86. I think it's because it's like 3 kits combined, so... Oh, apologies, people. Sorry about this. I told you I'm rubbish at actually doing the making bit. Chris, the difference between 5 and 6 is... Oh, there it goes. There's the drill. Wow. Quite speedy this time. My late dad was a fan of Stargate SG-1, says Stream. He had clearly had excellent taste. I love SG-1. Wow. Let's... Oh... Wow, that's loud. Sorry, folks. Let me mute the microphone for a second. There we go. Yeah, she's probably putting a shelf up or something. Debating if I should build my perfect grade or be an adult and go do laundry, says Jordan Nash. Chat. I don't really need to ask this, but should Jordan do his perfect grade or should he go and do the laundry? Which do you think? Let the chat decide. Press your buttons now. Osric says hello. Hey, Osric. Coconuts. The difference if lol, says Gwinnell. Yeah, you give me a song reference. I'm gonna break your brain with it. Right. So 86 again. It's only to take me 10 minutes to find one piece. And an investigation of all 3 sprues, and it was right above the other piece that I cut off a minute ago. Lime in the... Oh, it's in my head now. God damn it. Actually, I've got to be careful. I can't be singing that because I'll get pulled for copyright. Laundry, says Chris. Chris, you're rubbish. 60 we need. 60. There it is. Zia. I've so got that song in my head. I need to get something to get it out. Yes, I love me some... Stargate SG-1 is my favourite... It's carrying a briefcase. It's my favourite sci-fi series of all time ever. And I will happily say it's better than Star Trek. Happily. I'd watch SG-1 over DS9 any day, and DS9 is my favourite Star Trek. We need some leggings, which is 3. 3. What does 3 mean? Hang on. Oh, we're supposed to have started here. Yeah. Excuse me. Leg choice. Choix de jambe. Opciones de perez. Asphalt and beinen. Right, so we got body choice. Backpack choice. Oh, there are all many choices. Okay, so we need to make some leggage. And it's the leggage with the things on the thing. Let's make some legs. There are about 35 arms on this. On just a sprue for one guy. There's no legs on that sprue. This is why Warhammer takes me forever, because it takes me forever to choose the legs and things. Okay, so should we just go for a pre-made set of the legs because of laziness? It does say 3 on it, and it says 3. So I'll use them. That's the ones I'll use. They're on a totally different sprue. Because of course 1, 3, 4. That's how it works. That's how maths works. Cutting off the sprue. I like the look of these guys' uniforms. They just kind of kick ass. It's all straps and things. And trim. Now I don't know what colour I'm going to paint these guys at all. Haven't thought about that yet. They're obviously going to be more elite than the other guys. I need the servo skull, which I saw on this sprue. Did I see the servo skull on the sprue? Can be attached anywhere on the back of the cloak. Excellent. Now I just need to find the servo skull. 66. Look at the part number, dear. Look at the part number. It's not on this sprue, clearly. There's 65. And there the number stops. 66. 59, 60, 56. They're not in any specific order. It's like 86, 57, 60. Yeah. Yeah. This may take some time. There it is. Finally. Doodle doodle doodle. I shall come back to the chat in a moment, folks. Get all the bits cut off, then we'll do a little bit of chatting. See what you guys have been up to. Ooh, can't get the thing in there. Delicate bits on this servo skull. Come on, off you come. Careful of that bit. There we go. Servo skull. Now, do I want the arm or the stick? Choose to assemble either a Tempest or Prime Stage 5 or Stage 6. Thinking. Let's have a look what the book says. Has it got an index? No, that's really not helpful. Because now I've got to try and find, somehow, a Tempestor's Prime. I've not actually read through this book yet, so that's probably a bad thing. That's tanks, that's Lehman Russes, that's Hydras, bodyguards, servitors, Militarum Tempestus Command Squad, Tempestus Scion. That's the pack I've got. I've got a pack of Tempestus Scions. What's he called? Tempesta Prime. Scions. Tempesta Prime Stage 5. Or, what does it mean Stage 5? Oh. Ooh. No. No. Tempesta. There we go. Tempestal Prime. Move that up a bit. Tempestal Prime. Tempestal Prime is a single model armed with a hotshot las pistol, frag grenades, and crack grenades. This model may play may replace its hotshot las pistol with a Tempestus command rod, a bolt pistol, or a plasma pistol. Doesn't say anything about stage 5 or stage 6. Anybody in chat know what I'm doing here? Tell me the difference between a stage 5 and a stage 6 Tempestal, because I've got no idea. I'm looking at the book with the words, and it doesn't mention stages. I'm guessing I've got 2 of them in this kit. Voice of command. Model with Tempestus command. A model with a Tempestus command rod may use the voice of command ability twice in each of your turns to resolve the effects of the first order before issuing the second order. Voice of command. See, this might be interesting. Voice of command, page 85. See, this is what I need to think about when I'm building these things. I don't really, but it makes me look like I know what I'm doing. Page 85. Page numbers 84, 85. I've lost the other page I was on now. Oh, this is the worst. Right, so it says to miss voice of command ability. Now I've lost that page. Oh, good God, man. What are you doing? Right. Voice of command. The unit may issue 1 order per turn to the soldiers under their command at the start of their shooting phase. Orders... I shouldn't read this out because they don't like people to see these things without you doing them. Take aim, first rank fire, bring this. Okay, so basically, if I give him the wiggly wavy stick, if I give him a gun of shooting, then he can shoot dudes. If I give him the wavy stick of shouting, I can use that voice of command ability twice each go. Okay. In that case then, because that's kind of handy. That's kind of handy. Let me just put these over here. See, this is me with no knowledge of gameplay. I'm going to assume that's kind of handy, and it'd be good to have the sticky rod, the wavy stick of pointing and shouting, which would make him more shouty and commandy and pointy. I'm guessing having 2 extra things a go is probably more advantageous than having a shooty gun. If I was really being careful, I could actually do magnets and magnets and stuff, but I'm not going to. I'll probably end up building like 6 of these anyway. So it's part number 61. 61. Part 61. Here we're doing the looking at numbers again, aren't we? Hang on. There's the hand with the las pistol, or the hand with the other las pistol, or the hand with the grav gun. Or there's a pointy hand, there's a flag. There we go. That is the hand with the big stick. Yeah, that's a stick. I'm going to assume this is the voice of command stick, or whatever it's called. It's the thing, it doesn't actually tell you in the instructions anything. Like what these things are. Oh, it might do. I don't know. But that whole, like... It doesn't actually say that's what that is, but I'm going to guess that's a command rod. But it still doesn't say what a prime stage 5 or stage 6 is. It doesn't tell me that anywhere. Oh, hang on. I'm being special. Let's have a look. Here we go. There's stuff in the... Oh, it's all in the back of here, isn't it? I forgot about that. Fox, you are the special. Right. Tempestor and Tempestor. Tell me about the Tempestor. Tempestor Science. That's all in just different languages. Okay, so that doesn't mention anything about the Prime. That's quite good that they don't actually give you any information about the Prime in this at all. This unit contains 1 Tempestor and 4 Tempestor Scions. I'm going to assume that's the Tempestor. Tempestor, hot shot, last pulse, chainsword, frag grenades, and crack grenades. It doesn't mention his command rod. It's not very exciting. That's the thing. It says it doesn't mention stage 5 and stage 6. It doesn't say anything about the command rod, which is a choice you want to make. So it doesn't mention anything about this, what that does. It doesn't mention the 5 or 6. So if then again, I suppose if you're making these things, you kind of know what you're doing, I suppose, really. But you're not like me, a spoon like me. Oh well, never mind. We'll make him with the pointy stick of shouting. But you can see in this kit, this is what you actually get. You get the command squad, which is him and the veterans, or whatever they are. And then you get the Tempestor Scions, those guys. And technically, these are 2 different kits, but all in one box. So that's how these start collecting kits work. They have like a couple of kits jammed together and a vehicle of some sort. The Astra Militarum is like a command squad and a group of Imperial Guard, the 2 separate kits put together, and the Lehman Russ. So they are quite good value, these kits. If you think about getting into this, they are really good value, because you're getting, that's probably 25 quid, that's probably about 30 quid, and the Lehman Russ is about 30 odd quid, so but you're getting it for 50 quid, which is a lot cheaper than buying the kit separately. So that's all the bits for him. So what I shall do is I shall... Oh, hang on, there's more to do. Oh, hang on. Tempestor assembly. Wait, is he... Huh? Okay, so I assume then I'd... So I assume then you've got a choice of making this guy or that guy. Or do you make both? I don't know. I don't know. He's got a power fist and a grav gun. And he's... Okay. So I guess then the instructions mean you can either make this guy that looks kick-ass and awesome, or this guy who's just got no helmet and looks a bit meh, but he's got a power fist and a grav gun. Or a sword. Oh no, he's Tempestor Prime, he's a Tempestor. I don't know, we'll figure it out. Right, let's have a quick look at what the chat's doing. Oh, there goes the drill. Hang on, coffee. Let's have a look. Let's have a look and see what's been going on in the chat. Do you get a copyright strike even if you're singing? It's a cover version, isn't it? And it's not worth the risk. In the US, cover versions are kind of allowed, sort of. In the UK, it's not quite the same. But yeah, it's not worth the risk. Do your laundry and then the perfect grade, says Nimsandarin. Copyright is only on the original version. Not quite true, John. Again, it depends where you are. In some places, you're not allowed to put even a cover version up. Gwenelle Dupre says, excellent French accent, thank you very much. I actually learnt French at school. Bonjour la classe, asseyez-vous, répétez et écoutez. My French is very, very rusty. I could probably read it, but remembering how to speak it without reading it. Scott Sutherland says, had a look and Zing Industries do a half-track conversion for the truck Foxx, cool. You should paint them like Char, or at least one. Well, I'm going to have, in one of my armies, I will have a knight done up as Char's Zaku, so Char will probably be in that. But I might have to get like a spanky dude at some point, and I'll see what custom figures there are and paint him in Char's colours. Crack grenades, says Glued to the Sprue, spelled as in the Gaelic, crack as in happenings. Stage 6 is the last one. Yeah, thanks for that. Bazinga, says Paul. Enough elite, 23 million now, says Chris. Oops, he nearly flew into a sun. Hooray! There's nowhere to take a feces, says Glued to the Sprue. It's if you want to have them with a gun or a stick, it's up to you, says XJ Dave. Hey, Dave. Yeah, I think I'll have them. So I think I'll stick him with the shouty stick because you get 2 command points for that, or 2 command options. Me and Fox now use... that's internal comments. Am I misremembering that you already have one Prime? You could build this one with the other option. No, I haven't got a Taurox. This will be the first one I've done. Chris says he nearly flew into a sun. John Robertson says, look up on YouTube. I'm sure there's a video somewhere that explains it. Warhammer is not good at telling you what's what and how to do things. You just have to go for it. Yeah, this is how I'm going to do it. I'm just going to build all the stuff, and then I'll probably find that I've got most of the stuff I need, but I might have to go and get some extra bits. Once I've got a squad of some sort done and painted up, I can go to the local store and get a game in. Cam will teach me how to play. And then I might be like, I don't like it anymore. I'll just build them. Muhaha, perfect, says Grinnell. Asseyez-vous. Écoutez et répétez. Generations of British school kids who had language lessons at school remember that. The language labs. Any chance of building the Sinanju soon, says Edwin. Not yet. I've got to finish the Imperial skitter, which I am doing as an e-models build, which is a fake Warhammer because it's just a 1/35th Panhard vehicle, Warhammered up. So that's what I'm doing all those figures for. I've got to do that first. When that is finished, I then have the Master Grade Strike Rouge Uotori to do, and that's actually as a reward for a patron, $100 a month patron. If you don't know, I am on Patreon, patreon.com/modelmakingguru. You can pledge anything from $1 up a month. All support is gratefully accepted. It helps keep me going, helps keep this channel going. But for those who pledge $100 a month, after 12 months they get to pick a kit for me to build and paint that they will then own. I build it and paint it and send it to them free of charge. So it's like a 12-month reward. You take a Master Grade kit, anything like that. There's blurb on the Patreon page if you want to go and check it out. Patreon.com/modelmakingguru. All support is really gratefully accepted. So the Strike Rouge is next after this skitter. I've got to do a diorama for it, so it might be a couple of weeks. Then once the Strike Rouge is done, we'll see. We'll see what's next. Been doing Warhammer for about 20 years, never been good at tell you how to do things, says XJ Dave. Christmas evening, sorry I'm late. Hey Chris. Hey Fox, says Doug. Hey Doug. Awesome accent, you haven't lost it. Je parle un petit peu. Juste un petit peu. I actually wanted to take Latin in school, but they cut the class the year before. I wanted to learn when I was at school. Because I was in like the lower set, which wasn't the Brainiac set, so I didn't get to do Greek, thank God, or Latin, thank God. But I also didn't get to do German, and I really wanted to learn German, but instead I learnt French. So yeah, and then I forgot it all. Blood for the Blood God, says Sergeant Bones. No stabity yet. However, I've got these and that. And I've got these. I can stab myself with that. Yes, says Ghost Lyle. Or plasma, that works too. That's me, says Jordan Nash. Okay, right, swig of coffee. No. For those just joining, yes, Epic Cup is epic. So, right, we've got one guy cut off the sprue. So that is the Tempestor Prime. So what I do is I very carefully just dump him in there like that. That's how it works. Yay, we've cut one person off the sprue. Kick ass, we're only 5% complete. Fantastic. Yes. Who's next? Who is next? So we've got him done. Right, let's see if we can now build the Tempestor as well, or if that requires something else. How many pairs of legs have I got? Probably more than I need. Oh, I have to get this. Is like build the remaining Tempestus Scions from any stages of 7 to 15 for the Militarum Tempestus Command Squad and 7 to 13 for the Militarum Tempestus Scion Squad. Wow. There's a lot of thinking required just building dudes. It's a lot easier when they're just Imperial Guard and they all look different. Aha, you caught the implication, says Sergeant Bones. Yes. The Blood God demands stabity at some point. Right. Let's consult the leg end. Oh, I thought it was a building stream, not a reading stream. Right, contains one Tempestor, and 4 Tempestus Scions. That answers the question then. It can include up to 5 additional Tempestus Scions. So you can have 1 Tempestor, which will be a Tempestor Prime or a Tempestor. Well, if we can't build him, he's boring anyway. He's boring anyway. Right, so stages 7 to 15. So what do we want? We have... They can have... Each Scion is armed with a hotshot lasgun, frag grenades, and crack grenades. The Tempestor is armed with a hotshot las pistol, chainsword, frag grenades. Okay. 1 Tempestor Scion may replace their hotshot lasgun with a hotshot las pistol and take a Vox caster. Okay. Okay, that's all really complicated. So in that case, what we need to do is build 4 Tempestor Scions with a lasgun, but I can replace the lasgun with the las pistol and a Vox caster. And he carries the official briefcase of important documents. He's the HR guy. He's got all the HR files. So I need to make 1 of him. Maybe. Maybe. Hang on, they've got that with Flamer, with Melter Gun. It says they're all hotshot las gun. 1 of them may replace it with the hotshot las pistol. But then it's got like a guy with a Flamer and a guy with... If the only options I've got are las rifle or a pistol because he's got a Vox. For every 5 models in the unit, up to 2 of them are Tempestor Scions may replace their hotshot gun with a Flamer, Melter Gun, Plasma Gun, Grenade Launcher, or Hotshot Volley Gun. Okay, now I am confused. You've now got me totally confused. It's all gone wrong. Maybe I should just stop doing on the tour rocks. Chat, can you help me? One may replace with a hotshot las gun with a pistol. Okay. I could just make them as they appear in the package, and then I can just say that's what the picture has on the front. Voxcaster radio. I've not quite figured out what Voxcaster is. I think it means you can transmit commands that give you extra command points and stuff to your troops that your commanders can give. Something like that. Just realised my video had lagged and I wasn't live anymore. Sad, says Jordan. Dope. Fox is probably the only person I know who could stab himself with a rubber ball. I could try. Nurgle. Sorry I'm late, just for the cookies. See, you need to return to chaos, less rule following. All foreign to me, sorry, says Chris. You know what, I'll just build them as they are, appear on here. If at the end of the day, like a year from now, and I realise I've got to have like 5 standard dudes, I could just make more. I could just make more. I think. I don't know. I don't know. I don't know. Because that doesn't make no sense at all. It just makes no sense at all. Let's get the big book. I need to read through this at some point. This is the How to Read Things live stream. You're watching live as I read things and have to do thinking. You see me do thinking live on telly, it's not right. Basilisks, sentinels, platoon commanders, Knight Commander Pask. Okay, so Inventarius Squad, Scions. This is going to be exactly the same, isn't it? Yeah, no, what? I'll just make them as they appear on the box. And then if that's wrong, it's that wrong. Right. Coffee. What was I looking at? I was going to look at something. Hot shot, that's gone. Let's just do some dudes, shall we? So it should be, theoretically, the command squad is 1, 2, 3, 4 dudes. The Scions is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I do have a box of Scions anyway to make. So oh, hang on, no, the Tempestor is for that guy. Oh, man. So I built him. He's done. I can make him. So let's make him. Do you know? I've suddenly realised as well, if I set myself to do this every week, I'm going to have to spend a fortune buying all the kits to do, because I can't. Otherwise, I'll be just building a group, painting them, building the next group. Foxx, double check that list in the codex. The list is usually a cut down version. It's exactly the same actually as in the codex, but I'm just confused as to, it says everybody carries a las rifle, las gun, but they've all got different weapons, so I don't know which ones I'm just going to make them. Let's get this guy done first anyway. So we need 10 and 9, so we need a 9 zig, or even just 9er. Get that one. If I can get the snippers in there. Somehow. Okay, so that's that. Which one I haven't cut? I haven't cut his little aerial off. Oh, snip your aerial. That's that. 10 we need. And also a number 10. 10 is that one. And we're trimming. That was like 20 minutes of me just going, I don't know what I'm doing. I can't be very exciting for you, I do apologise. 30. Remove pipe with cutters. Sorry. Here is number 30. There's number 30. No, away goes the drill. Stand by for action. Wait, that's 34. Is that 30? That's 34. Oh, that's 30. Oh, nearly. Nearly. Yeah. There we go. 30. It says cut the pipe with the cutters. So we don't need this gubbins on the end here. Gubbins, be gone. Yeah, sand that down. We need a 1 and a 2, a 1 and a 2, and a 1, 2, 3, 4. Perfect timing. As I did my little count in, the drill starts. Fantastic. That's not legs. The funny thing is that once I've made this kit, and then if I get another set, I'll know what I'm doing then. One and a 2. I need a 2. Zwei. Wie ist zwei? It's not actually numbered. Is that numbered? Wow, that leg just actually isn't numbered at all. Excellent. So there's the one for there. There's one for there. Where's the leg bit for? There it is. There it is. Yeah, if you actually just sit and watch me doing this, like taking things off sprues, I look like an idiot because I just don't know what the hell I'm doing. Missed an hour already, says Aviad Madar. Yeah, but all you've missed is me reading through the codex and going, what the hell am I building? I don't know how this works. Didn't think it through before you started yet, Fox. Yeah, says Doug Schramm. Yeah. Super YouTube, sorry for the spamming. I didn't see you do anything. I didn't see anything from you, Chris. What have we got? Legs. A uni legs. Now he's got a normal boring head with a beret, which is boring. But he's got a boring head, so I'll give him a boring head. 88. Zub, zub, zub. Trimming. No, get in there. And there. I'll tell you the one thing that these guys have got over the Imperial Guard. They don't have bloody nubs on their chins like the Imperial Guard do. God, it's frustrating. So annoying. Now we can have a power fist, a chain sword, or a power sword. I think power fist looks the most meaty on that. I think. Do we have to look and see what he can have? Okay. Tempest to replace a chainsaw with an item from the Astra Militarum melee weapons list, or they can just have the power fist, I think, would be more cool. And he can replace his hotshot las pistol with a bolt pistol or plasma pistol, which it shows there. I think I would have a bolt pistol, I think, possibly. Although, plasma pistol. I don't know. It's, not sure. I'll have to think about that. Give him the big power fist anyway. Power fist, which is part 63. Will it be on the sprue? Let's just have to find out and see. Part 63 is not on the sprue. It's over here. I can see it with my eyes. There it is. 36. 63. Et voilà. And for his other arm, bolt pistol, plasma pistol, or las pistol. Plasma pistol might be better against armour, I think. I don't know. Let's give him which one looks like this be the easiest to paint. I think it would be. Where's 42? 42. 42. 42. Anytime now. Two little ducks. 42. 42. There we go. Plasma pistol, that might be quite good. If I remember rightly, plasma pistols are good against armour type things, so give him a plasma pistol, shall we? So that's him. That's all his bits. Somehow this reminds me of building a Rifles Models early Tiger, but with pistols instead of road wheels. Yeah. Feeling the MG itch again. Any recommendation for a kit that'll look cool with a candy paint job aside from the obvious Sinanju? Sinanju? I think the O would look quite good with a candy paint job, but it's absolute desert when it comes to panel lining. Big coffee. So I would say the O, just because it's so big. Nim says it depends on the colour. Yeah, it does. Something what else would look good? You want something really with a lot of armour. So even a Zaku would look good with a candy colour scheme. or a goof, perhaps. A Giara Doga might look quite good. It's a pity they don't do a Giara Zulu, because that'd be sweet. You could always do a dual Gundam. Right. That's all the bits for these dudes. So, what I'm going to do is, let's get him ticked. I want to mark him off as a dude, so I need to find, where's all my rolls of tape? Rolls of tape, where are you? There it is. That's not a roll of tape. Oh, where's all my masking tape gone? There it is. What I'm going to do is take these off. I estimate this whole process will take me about like 13 years, especially if I work at this speed. I need some thicker tape. Where's all my rolls of Tamiya tape gone? This is most frustrating. I put them somewhere to be efficient, and now I haven't got a bloody clue where I put them to be efficient because I'm an idiot. I'll leave it. I was going to mark them so I know that's the Tempesta Prime and that's the Tempestor, and never mind. They're around somewhere. So that's them two out of the box. What I'm going to do is, I don't want to sit here and just do taking things off sprues all day. So, I'll have a quick swig of me brew. We'll have a chat for 5 minutes. And then I'll get these guys cleaned up. And maybe even glued together by the end of today. Star, I'll just get them off the sprue and cleaned up a little bit. So, let's have a look. So let's have a look, you see what you're doing in the chats. Doven Wolf, Sir Sergeant Bones, Sazabi, Wing Zero, Efreet. Got my first plane model, a Polycop of U2 Pro Apo 2. Aviad says the Sazabi looks amazing and it's a fun build as well, says Jordan. I would say, yeah, the Sazabi actually would probably be the best for a, if it's not the Sinanju, then yeah, the Sazabi is the other kind of classic candy finish. Then you've also got the Shinanzu Stein, which could be interesting with a candy paint job, but I don't know. Remember, folks, if you're watching this, if you've just joined us and you're not watching this on the actual YouTubes, and you want to join in the live chat, because I'm depending on you in live chat to ask me questions and keep the conversation going, give me things to talk about, then do pop along. If you're watching somewhere other than YouTube, click on the little YouTube icon in the bottom right hand corner of the screen, and that will take you to the YouTube page where you can join in the live chat. And what I might do some sticker giveaways. I might do some sticker giveaways in a bit. So I've got like a million stickers to give away. So I might do some of those in a bit. So do come and join in the live chat. If you are in the chat already and you weren't here at the start, if you want to ask me a question, please for the love of God do, because it gives me something to talk about. Do your question in big fat capital letters, because I might miss it while I've got my head down cutting things. You can, if you want, use super chat, which is the little dollar symbol at the bottom of the chat. You can see it there in the chat window. You can click on that and it'll put your text in a big massive coloured box so I can see it. But yeah, should we do some sticker giveaways in a bit later on? Why not? Just means I've got to think of questions to ask you. Diddly-dee-dee-dee. So feel free to throw me lots of questions. Paul says, Chris, we need Team Inept stickers. Yeah. Yeah, everybody should have something with a Team Inept sticker on it. What else would look good with the candy paint job? I think Sinanju and Sazabi are kind of the two go-tos, aren't they? The O would look interesting, but I think it's maybe a bit too big and flat and boring for a candy paint job. It's just too many flat surfaces. It's the only problem with the O, they've got no surface detail on it, and they had such a potential to put a lot of surface detail on that panel lines, and they totally didn't. It's like, really? Lol, says Nim. Says Chris. For those that don't know, Chris, Gross Models in chat, and Paul, who is glued to the sprue in chat, and I do have another YouTube channel called Team Inept, which hasn't got a YouTube address yet, but it's on there. Just look up Team Inept. But we're also on Facebook as Team Inept, where we do our video game shenanigans. We just get together and play video games badly. Although I don't get a lot of time lately, but it's mostly Chris and Paul. So do pop along, check that out. What about one of the ashtrays? Yeah, that would work as a candy paint job. So this has got me really confused. This has got me super confused now, these lists and rules. Really has got me going. So if they can only replace it with, I don't know, I hate to repeat myself, if they can only carry a las gun or a pistol with a Vox caster, why have they got all the other weapons as well? I don't know. My mate's going to Japan in a couple of weeks, small budget, but what would you recommend I ask him to bring for me? It depends on your budget. Which suits do you think look cool? There's the thing. If you're looking at Gunpla, of course you could be looking at anything else. Blood Angels look good in candy. Oh yeah, if it's not a Gunpla, but it's yeah, little Blood Angels, Space Marines, Space Marine. What is the name of the Citadel Stuff Blade again? The Stuff Blade. This thing, it's the Citadel Seam Line Remover. Available from all good Warhammer stores and third-party sellers and the Warhammer Games Workshop website. It's really good. You'll see me use it in a bit. It's really good. Nimsandarin says snacks, yes. If your mate's going to Japan, get him to buy you a whole mass of ramen. Proper Japanese ramen. An Imperial Knight, that would look good in candy. Oh yeah, that'd be good. Wouldn't be accurate, because they're supposed to be hundreds of years old. Not a denubber like I asked for. Yes, that's your denubber. Yes. Don't get their modelling knife because it's stupidly expensive and you can just get a modelling knife. I don't necessarily recommend their clippers. They are very good, they are very nice, but they are 20 quid. And there are plenty of other good clippers you can get. I've also got some Tamiya clippers, which I got a long time ago. They were about 10 quid, I think. They're very good, but the only reason I got these Citadel ones was my old Tamiya ones were a bit knackered and I was in the shop and I got these anyway. They're really quite nice. They're very good, they're nice and weighted. They're a bit awkward to hold, but they're fine. I don't particularly recommend a lot of the Citadel tools. The only two tools I would recommend is the seam line removal tool, because it's fantastic. It's better than a blade for getting rid of things because it's not flexible, it's not bendy. So you can remove them and it just gives you a nice matte surface. And also you've got their official pin vise. Now it is expensive, it's like 16 quid. And it's a bit stupidly expensive, but the reason I like it is it's got that bit that spins, so you can hold it like that and turn it, which is really quite neat. It comes with like 5 different size drill bits, which are, bizarrely, specifically designed to be the right diameter for things like bolt guns and bolt guns and heavy weapons and things. They're designed to be the right diameter for Warhammer weapons, but you can put any old drill bit in there. I just find it more comfortable than my normal pin vise, which just has one of these on either end, and then when you're doing this it just falls off. It's really annoying. So I do recommend that. It's expensive though, not really worth it, but this is more than worth it. Grinnell says Amazon told me it's €75. What 75 euros? Have I missed something? What did I miss, Grinnell? What, 75 euros? Put that away. Put that there. More coffee. Oh. Oh yeah, tell your mate to get. I was going to say get him Millennium Falcon, perfect grade Millennium Falcon, but you're on a small budget. Oh, there's 75 euros? No, no, no. Just go to your local Warhammer shop or if you've not got one, your local shop that sells Games Workshop stuff. They're like 15 quid. 10, 15 quid. But like I say, when you're trying to remove a nub, or trying to, like, you know, get rid of a seam line, if you use a blade, the blade bends like that, so it tends to skitter across the surface a bit, and you can get little scratch marks and gouges and things. With this thing, because it doesn't bend, you just 45 degrees and give it a bit of that, and it just makes a nice smooth flat surface that you don't then need to sand. I won't be able to show you on this because they're too small, but there's been times when I've had a big flat surface seam line down the middle, and I've just gone like that and done the whole panel, and it comes out beautifully flat with no little scratch marks or anything. So it makes life a lot easier and good for any model. Foxx, what should I 3D print next, says Jordan Nash. Something Stargate. Print something from Stargate. There you go. There is actually, you know, I got myself my little Teltac cargo ship. There is actually an Alkesh, you know, the big bomber. There's an Alkesh, and it's like this big, but it's 130 quid, and I'm like, I'll save up. That'd be nice to paint, because it's all just shiny metal. Jordan Nash, and I love my perfect grade Millennium Falcon. I might one day get one. Maybe if I suddenly have 300 or 400 quid to spare. Maybe. Citadel line remover, yes. Oh, it skitters. Yes, skitter. Right, shall we clean some pieces up? Let's do some work. We'll start with the Tempestor Prime, because he looks the most kick-ass. So I'm thinking in my army, we're going to have obviously bog standard Imperial Guard as the grunts, and they'll just be in bog standard green Principality of Zeon colours. We'll have these guys, who I'm not sure yet, but I might do them in kind of the red and yellow colour scheme of Char, maybe. We will have the Imperial Knights, like I said before. One will be a Goof, one will be a Zaku, and one will be Char's red Zaku. And then we'll also have some. I might at some point go to Forge World and get some Death Core of Krieg dudes. I don't know yet. We'll think about that. They're not cheap. Right, let's do some work, shall we? Did Fox say something Jar Jar? Sounded Jar Jar. Don't mention those words to me. Don't use such words in my presence. Such words are verboten. Right, let's do some work. So, this is where you might see me stab myself. You probably won't. Let's do the safe option first and clip it. Yes. The knife is out. What can possibly go wrong? So now you get to see me clean up some parts for another hour and a half. Isn't that exciting? How long have we been going? We've been going for... Oh, hello. Wow, that's loud. 1.5 hours we've been going. She's getting louder next door, you know. She's put the volume up on a drill. Bit of file action. Says the drill. Wow, that's really bad timing all round. Never mind. Now, it's not often you get to see me actually use a metal file, because typically I don't. I tend to use sanding sticks. But I have found with these models, files are actually quite nice to use. Oh, that's a bit of detail I've just tried to sand off. Never mind. Yeah, metal files seem to work quite well for little flat areas. Oh, one other important tool, if I can find it. My dusting brush. Dusting, brushing all the dust away. Next Star Wars thing I wanted the Lego Falcon, says Jordan Nash. The UCS one, yeah, it's not cheap. Aviad Madar says, get a second mortgage if you're planning to do a Death Corps army. Yeah. But well, yeah, basically. I might just get a little squad of Death Corps dudes. I like the pack of 10 dudes that are all at rest, so they're just there with like their rifle slung over their shoulder and they're just standing about. Okay, there's a hair there. I don't want that hair. Oh, look at that nub right on the corner of that sleeve. Come on, Games Workshop, you could do better than that. You know you can. If there is any stabity, by the way, I won't stop the stream, I'll just run away and cry a lot and there'll be bleeding and swearing and then I'll come back. So if there is stability and I suddenly vanish, don't worry, just stick around. I'm sure it'll all come out well in the end. Oh, nub right on the corner of his sleeve, you jerks. Thanks for that. Thanks, Obama. Careful now, I don't take off any of the piping on his jacket. Yeah, it's hard to get to. I just find with the plastic these guys use, filing is a bit faster and it's quite forgiving as well. It's with some polystyrene, you try file stuff and you just make a mess of the plastic. But with their plastic, it's actually quite good. It's not too bad. Let me know if, by the way, I'm out of shot or off camera. Or I've got a little marker here which says I'm in the middle, but I'm a bit far away for you for then. So why don't I move that marker? Put it in the middle. It's going to be about there. There you go. Now you can see things with your eyes. Okay, that's enough decaling for now, says Tony. What are you putting decals on, Tony?
Krieg, Achtung, für unsere Imperator,
says Sergeant Bones. Yeah. Für die Imperator.
You spelled Imperator wrong.
I thought you did German, Sergeant Bones. You fail. Hand in your cards. Isn't it Imperator, not Imperator? Imperator. All the German I know, I learnt from one single song that's in German and playing Medal of Honor games. Mehr Munition hier! Ich habe! Das ist gut Tabak. Achtung, Granate! Wo ist Granate? Someone I used to know was in conversation with someone once who was German, and I'd always joke that all the German I knew was from Medal of Honor, so I taught him all the phrases. And he said, yeah, it didn't go down well, that the only things I knew how to say were like, Achtung, Granate, wo ist Granate? I said, yeah, I can imagine it wouldn't go down that well. That's that one.
What? Too much French accent? Ja, es ist Imperator.
I didn't do German with a French accent. I don't even know how you do German with a French accent. Or French with a German accent, even.
Let me try it again then, hang on. Krieg, Achtung, für unsere Imperator! I can't do too loud because I've got
neighbours and stuff, and I don't want to be here shouting German at the top of my lungs while my neighbour's on the other side of the wall drilling holes. It may be a little awkward. Okay. So, they protect you from nubs on the chin, which is nice, but then they replace that with nubs on the earphone things. Oh, Games Workshop. Did you know? One of these days. Yes, I know one song in German, but it's a wartime song, so it's not very. It's a bit insulting to Winston Churchill, strangely enough. So I don't tend to sing it very often. I just happened to learn it when I was going through when I was collecting library music. It happened to be in a music library, and I like the tune. It was a nice jazzy little tune. But then I translated it and I'm like, oh wait, it's kind of, yeah. Okay, so that's that. Nubbage removed. A little bit of this, a little bit of that. A little bit of scrubby. This isn't too important, this bit, because it's just the ball of the neck where it glues to the torso. The difficult bits are these on the ears. And there is a big honking seam line right down his head. You did it again, says Sergeant Bones. German with the French accent. That's got to be a skill for an English guy to be able to do German with a French accent.
Try again. Krieg, Achtung, für unsere Imperator.
I don't know. How does that sound French?
Allemagne. Je suis français. Okay, this is really exciting with me just taking seam lines off a dude's head. I can imagine. Ask me questions, let's talk about things in the chat. Keep this going, because otherwise I'll be sitting there sticking my tongue out and doing seam lines and you'll be like, this is boring. Especially because I know a lot of you guys have this on in the background while you're doing something else. So me constantly talking is probably a good idea. Oh, there's a seam... oh no. Some of these little seam lines on the helmet are impossible to get to without taking the detail off. Where is the knife? The knife is there. There's like a little bit there. I'm just using the knife here because it's fine detail, don't want to... It's a bit like being in Halo and shooting a grunt with the tank. It's a bit overkill if I use the seam line removal tool for this little tiny bit here that you guys can't even see. There's like a little bit of a gap there, and there's a little knobble thing in the... I may just have to leave that seam line because I can't see a good way to remove that without screwing it up. Darn it! Das ist nicht richtig. What is the meaning of pineapple? The meaning of the pineapple. We cannot tell you the meaning of the pineapple. You must learn it for yourself. Oh! That's the meaning of the pineapple, is the drill of happiness. Apparently. Says the drill. Wow, of all the really bad timing to do your drilling and start at 3 PM on a Sunday. That's awesome. Although I have to say, I'll try and say it in a minute. Oh, come on now, get it drilled. There you go. I have to say, if you're drilling something, let's say you're putting holes in the wall for shelves, what can she possibly be making that requires like you to drill 2 holes once every, say, hour? What could that be? What's she making? You're doing something, but it doesn't have... That's really pointy! I'm holding this head and the little spike on its helmet is really stabbing into my finger. I may well yet stab myself with a Warhammer figure. It may well yet be possible. Okay, the seam lines on these helmets are a real pain in the butt. I'll openly say this now. They're not fun. And they may have to slightly remain, because I don't think there's a lot I can do with them. Because they're so delicate and tiny. There's not a lot I can do to smooth them out without removing all the detail on the head, which is beautiful. Beautifully sculpted little head on this figure. That's why I like them, because they look kick-ass. I wish they'd do some plastic deathcore acrylic, that'd be kick-ass. But I think that's all completely Forge World exclusive, isn't it? So, okay, we have a head. Yeah, das ist richtig. Ghost Lyle, you don't want to know. Maybe it's not a drill. Says Chris Smith. Well, if it's a hammer, she's doing it wrong. More coffee. Also, I have to warn you, I've got the burps today. You won't have noticed, but I've been stifling a lot of big burps. I should just do them, but polite company and all that. But I have got, as is tradition, as I get more tissue, a really sniffly nose. Because as you all know me, there's smell on this tissue, like a kind of flowery smell. Must be scented. The moment I turn the camera on, my nose goes. I don't know why. Sergeant Bones says lol, but I can't remember what I said. There is no such thing as overkill in Warhammer. Use the biggest gun you can. Yes. I think Gwenelle would be best qualified to judge on Fox's French undertones. Yeah, but does Gwenelle know what a French person speaking German sounds like? No such thing as using too big of a gun in 40k, just ask an orc. Yeah. Polite company where, says Chris. I don't know. One can be hopeful, can one not? Okay, well then let me sing you a line from the only song I know in German and tell me if it sounds too French. Eine dicke Zigarre hängt aus seinem Maul und ist fett und unangenehm. Jeder weiß, dass es stinkt, wenn sein Glimmstängel qualmt und sehr geht leider niemals aus. There you go, how's that sound? Does that sound French German or German German? Or just English German? The funny thing is, if somebody speaks English and they're not a native English speaker, you can tell. As an English speaker, I can tell straight away, oh, you're not a native English speaker, because they'll have an accent. But I can't comprehend of what German with a non-German accent, or French with a non-French accent, or Spanish with a German accent sounds like. My brain can't even begin to imagine how that would even work. Sounds mank to me. Yes, thanks very much. English, French, German says Grunout. Polish says Ghost Lyle. Daka says Ghost Lyle. The Predator 242, teeth. The Predator 242, hello matey, says, are you going to have a game when you have finished your army? Yes, if you weren't here at the beginning, but I was explaining the reason I'm doing this, and I'm going to do this every Sunday as best I can, unless she's having the roof done next weekend and I can't do it. What I'm going to start doing is, I don't normally have time during the week to do my own stuff for me, because I've got, you know, the e-models build, or I've got the Patreon build, or I've got other things I need to get done, and I never get time for my own stuff, really. Stuff that I'm going to do, I would do, not film, because the thing you have to remember is that when you, like me, when you're doing a build and you're filming it, it makes the build take forever, and it can really kill your mojo, because you just sometimes want to get down and paint, like painting figures, like, you know, painting these guys. And these guys is taking me like 4 days, just because I'm filming the build and building the build. And it's like film a little bit and then you have to go and do the editing, and it really kills your flow. So there are times when I just want to sit down and build something, but I can't really afford to do that, because if I'm not filming it, if I just sit there for 2 weeks and do a load of building and don't film it, it means it's several weeks for you guys with no content, which I don't want to do. So what I've decided is, I'm going to, obviously Monday to Friday, because for me, this is what I do for a living, so this is 7 days a week for me. So what I'm going to start doing is Monday to Friday is my build stuff for YouTube and for the followers builds, which will be all kinds of things. And then Saturday and Sunday will be my build stuff for myself stuff. And the plan is, at the moment, that's really sharp as well, my local Warhammer store manager Cam says to me, you know, get your army built up, get a load of dudes built up, and I'll teach you how to play. Come in and we'll have a game and I'll teach you how to play. And I said to him, well, I can't bring unpainted figures because that's legal. That's just not actually a legal thing I can do. So what I'm going to do is get at least one squad of dudes painted up. I'm not going to get a whole army, because over the next several years I intend this to be a massive army. So I'll get a squad of dudes built up, and then I'll book in with Cam to go and have a game, and he can show me how to play. And then what will either happen is I'll get totally smitten by it, and I'll slowly learn how to play and pick the game up and stuff and expand my army, or I'll hate it and I'll just end up buying random kits and building them just to build them. So at some point I will actually go and give it a go, because I've never played the tabletop game, but I've got the curiosity to play it because I've watched it and I've studied other people playing it, and it does look like absolute massively great fun. So it'll be a while off yet. I was thinking about, wouldn't it be cool to be able to film it, but at the end of the day I'll be in a Warhammer store and it's just me and my iPhone for filming, so I can't really do that. So you can need a couple of cameras and more than one person involved. You need someone to film for you while you're there, so that would probably never happen, but hey. But yes, I will be. The difficulty for me is that it's not like I've got a local club that I know of that I can just go along. There probably are, but they're not super local to me. I don't know anybody that's in the scene of, the tabletop gaming Warhammer scene. Personally, I don't know anybody, and I'm quite it may sound strange to say this, but I'm quite a shy person. I don't really do social interaction very well, so just to go out and meet people is like, yeah, I don't do that. No, don't do that. So yeah, we'll see. But yes, I will go and have a couple of games. Get the manager Cam to show me what to do. Let's have a look. Ah, well done, says Sergeant Bone. Ah, danke, vielen danke. A good mix of everything, says Gwinnell. Okay. I always, it's like, I used to think I did a brilliant silly Irish accent until somebody who's actually Irish said that's the worst Irish accent I've ever heard. And I'm like, well, what it is, you see, oh, arse. I'm building a custom Chaos Space Marine army based on the Lost Second Primarch, which can overtake other races with mechanical devices. I love your work, Fox. Thank you very much, Zach. Thank you. That's very, very kind of you. I would play them as allied forces, he says. Yeah, these are going to be Principality of Zeon. Again, if you're at the beginning, you might have missed. If you don't follow me on my Facebook or anything, these are going to be Principality of Zeon themed from the Mobile Suit Gundam universe. Because I ran a competition to design my army because I couldn't come up with a colour scheme, and the winner came up with a sort of Zeon style colour scheme. So they're going to be all different colours, based on, not exactly based on, but based on the Principality of Zeon. So I've got lots of decals for Zeon markings. Again, if you did miss this at the beginning, the plan is I'll have lots of different forces. So I'll have some Space Marines, I'll have some Imperial Guard, I'll have these Scions and Tempestus, all kinds of things going on, but then we'll also have some Imperial Knights. So there'll be at least one knight that looks like a Zaku. One knight, I'm not going to do any custom work on them, I'm going to keep them, like, you know, out of the box. I'm just going to give them custom paint jobs, because I want them to be, you know, legal to play. So there'll be one knight that looks like a Zaku, one knight painted up to look like a Goof, and one painted up to look like Char's Zaku. Now the only break to tabletop legal is on my Char's Zaku Knight. I have got the 3D printed Space Wolves accessories set for the Knight, which is the Space Puppy head and the paws, the feet. So they will be added. I know it's not relevant to Char, it just makes it look interesting and cool. Okay, so just taking the seam lines off with the Citadel seam line removal tool, which I absolutely freaking adore, because you really can scrape a seam line off and not have to actually sand it afterwards. Often when you do it with a knife blade, you'll have to then clean up those seams. I'm going to sand it a little bit because there's a few little spiggy bits sticking out. But you need to give it a light sand. There's no mess to clean because it just look at that, like there was a seam line there. You won't see it on camera because it's miles away, but there was a seam line there. There isn't anymore. Yay! And it didn't require a lot of sanding to get rid of. Now thankfully most of the seam line disappears into the boot pattern. So there's just little bits of seam line I need to remove. The rest just looks like part of the boot. See, that I can respect that, Games Workshop. Sometimes you just get the seam lines really nicely moulded in so they look like parts of the clothing. That I really appreciate. That is some classy stuff. Seam line looks actually like a seam. That I do like. We'll just work it over there a little bit. It's a bit visible down the side there, but again you can just gently squidge it out. Squidge it out. Do 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 do. The only song I know in German. As well, I know off by heart. There are some of the songs from Medal of Honor, but I only know them in English, not in German. So the one about the nightingale, I can't remember what it's called. What we've got in the chat. Strikes me that Space Marines have loads of armour at the front but hardly any at the back. Well, they never run away from a battle, so they just charge in face first, don't they? So they're never going to be running away. Stops them retreating, eh, Tony, says Paul. Yeah. Actually, armoured front and no back makes sense from a commander point of view. Don't want you guys turning around in the field. If you're in Death Corps Krieg, of course, the commanders there will actually shoot and kill any soldiers who show any kind of cowardice whatsoever. That's really cool concept. I can't wait to see the mechs, and I'm currently working on a Necron detachment. Ah, nice. Silver and glowy green. I've only played Medal of Honor 1 and 2. You need to play, if you have a console, you need to play Medal of Honor Frontline. In the days when I started video gaming and Halo was my thing, the only other game I would consent to play was Medal of Honor Frontline. Now you go back and play it now, and the controls absolute gash. Absolute gash. Because they're not like modern style controls. You have to get used to them. It was remastered for the PS3 and Xbox 360, I think, and it's still a bit ropey, but it works. But because Medal of Honor Frontline has, I think, the best soundtrack of any game ever made. It's a full orchestra. It's Michael Giacchino, before he started doing Star Wars and Star Trek and stuff. Michael Giacchino, when he still did interesting tracks and soundtracks. A lot of his stuff now is just wallpaper music, unfortunately. Not very interesting, but this was like full orchestra, beautiful, beautiful, beautiful orchestration and soundtracks. They did a limited release of it on CD. So if you can find, you'll find it on YouTube, and you can listen to it on YouTube. It's all uploaded to there, but it is my absolute all-time favourite video game soundtrack. Medal of Honor Frontline. Scraping on the... It's that nub on the sleeve again. God damn it. It's amusing how they go to a lot of trouble sometimes to hide seams and joints and nub marks. And they do a brilliant job, and then every now and then they go, but now we're going to put one here. Bam. Right in the worst possible place on a chin. Thanks. What's chat doing? I have two PS1s and a TV to play on. Yeah, I wouldn't play on a PS1. Medal of Honor Frontline. There was Medal of Honor Allied Assault on PC, which came out just before that. Which was good. The soundtrack is good on that as well. It's still Michael Giacchino again. It's also got a very good soundtrack, but it's not quite as good as Frontline. Medal of Honor games after Frontline were kind of pap. The Rising Sun one, the Japan one, was absolute terrible nonsense. There hasn't been a good Medal of Honor game since then, to be honest. And it's dated now. It's not going to stand up to modern day scrutiny, trust me. It's a bit dated. But it was at the time. It was the only other game I wanted to play apart from the Halos when I first started gaming. Let's get the file out. There. Das ist richtig. Something. Doodle 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 doodle. There's going to be a seam line. Never actually removed any seam lines off this, just realised. If there is one. Do we have a seam? Yes, we have a big seam line on this jacket, which I did not notice. Damn you, sir. See, now I've got the Medal of Honor Frontline theme stuck in my head. A very beautiful piece of music. It is an exceptional soundtrack. But it's like so many composers do like one fantastic soundtrack when they first start, you know, getting big, and then they kind of get a bit pants. Like David Arnold. David Arnold did my all-time favourite movie soundtrack, which is the soundtrack from the movie Stargate. And it's an incredible soundtrack. Then after that he did Independence Day, which is not as good because it's a bit more wallpapery. And then he kind of just got really equally not as good. And some of his stuff now is just, again, it's just dead simple. It's like, after doing Stargate, you kind of just drop the ball. So often you'll find a composer has like an incredible soundtrack in the library from the early days, and then just goes off the rails a bit. So both their stuff is good, it's just nothing comes close to their early works. And before you ask, no, I don't consider a movie soundtrack where it's just songs from, you know, by other artists collected together to be a soundtrack. That's just a collection of current songs for a movie. That's not a soundtrack. Soundtrack is original compositions for that movie. What are we doing in chat? We were promised stabs, says Chris. No, you weren't promised stabs. Today's forecast, model making with a high chance of stability. No telly makes games hard, says Chris. I have a PS2 and a TV to play on, says Ghost Lyle. The Classic FM Hall of Fame gets a bunch of game soundtracks voted every year. Yeah, they often get Skyrim and Jurassic Park. The only thing is that whenever they play Jurassic Park on Classic FM, they always play the kind of the suite, which contains a few of the themes. Whereas if they just play Journey to the Island, which is the piece of music that goes from when they get on the helicopter to get to the island, on its own, that's brilliant. I love that piece of music. That's that bit done. Have I got another nub somewhere? Nub. There's lots of tiny detail on there that I'm going to really hate painting. I can see that coming because they're going to be painful. You can see his arm in there. There's like detail on the inside of his jacket where his arm is. I'm like, oh, it's going to be hard, that is. Wallpapery, I like that term. Yeah, it's like anything Hans Zimmer has ever composed. I refuse to buy a Hans Zimmer soundtrack because they're just... It's kind of a bit unfair because if you think about a soundtrack logically, a soundtrack is there to just add texture to the images and add emotion and feeling. So Hans Zimmer, who I can't stand his stuff, his is the ultimate wallpaper soundtrack. It's not really... It's not stuff you would buy a CD and listen to, but it works in the context of the movie. Whereas people like, you know, John Williams and Michael Giacchino and David Arnold and others, they write, you know, proper soundtracks where you can watch the movie and have a good time, then you can buy the soundtrack and just listen to it as a piece of as a collection of music, and it's all good and gravy. So, but Hans Zimmer's the worst. It's just bland wallpaper. It's an old phrase, just wallpaper music. It's just doesn't go anywhere. It's like the unknown, the labelled pipes on the old original series of Star Trek, the GNDN pipes. Goes nowhere, does nothing. That's why on the set of original Star Trek, pipes were labelled GNDN. If you look at them close up, they just say GNDN on them. Goes nowhere, does nothing. Every time he puts the knife down, I get a little sad. Every time he picks it up again, yes. I have all the Lord of the Rings and Hobbit soundtracks and regularly listen to them. Let's have a look. I like the Lord of the Rings soundtracks or Harry Potter. Stab of the hand, says Ghost Lyle. Sulian says, hello, what are you building? Today, we are mostly building, where I can find where I put it. Today we are starting work on the, put it on camera dear, the Militarum Tempestus squad, the Start Collecting pack, which is a pack of it's a command squad, a squad of Scions, and a Taurox Prime. I've already started building my Astra Militarum squad. I'm building a Warhammer army to actually play slowly over the next 10 million years. And I'm just doing them on Sundays because it's the only time I get, when I'm not doing official builds, that I get to myself to actually build anything. So I'm going to do this every Sunday now. So it's going to be really boring for about 6 months while I'm just taking things off sprues and gluing them together. And then it'll be really boring after that because I'll be painting stuff that you can't see because I can't have the camera too close. Let's have a look. So yeah, there are good composers, there are bad composers. To me, it's more like there are a number of soundtracks I can listen to quite happily just on their own. In my soundtrack collection, the must listen tos I would say are David Arnold's Stargate soundtrack. It's absolutely fantastic. There is the Danny Elfman's Batman soundtrack, the 1989 movie, the first one, not Batman Forever or the one after that or anything like that. The original Batman is the best one from the 1989 movie, Danny Elfman. John Williams' Jurassic Park is a very good one. There's a few clunker tracks in there, but overall it's pretty good. There is the Star Wars soundtrack, The New Hope, but a lot of it is not really listenable. It's not bad, but it's nowhere near as bad as Indiana Jones, the first Indiana Jones movie, where the soundtrack, you've got the iconic theme, but the rest of it's not very listenable. So I wouldn't recommend that. What else have we got? I think they're ones I listen to all the time. Unfortunately, I lost a lot of my music collection when my hard drive died recently, so I've kind of not restored them all yet. As I think of more, I will reveal them. I've got to remember what's in my collection. What else have we got? Well, must have more soundtracks than that. I can't remember now. I can't even remember, Captain. It's just gone from my brain. It's knee on there. Ooh, big knob right on the elbow. Inside. What's that part of your elbow called? What's the inside of your elbow called? Tell me in the chat. I don't know what this part of your elbow is called. I know that's called your elbow. What's that bit called there? That inside of your elbow bit. Must have a name. Anything Danny Elfman. Not anything Danny Elfman, but yes. Like, you know, the Batman soundtrack was good. The one after it, was it Batman Forever? Batman Returns, that was it. That wasn't quite as good. Soundtracks. Yes, we have Medal of Honor Frontline is a fantastic soundtrack. Medal of Honor Allied Assault is a good soundtrack, but it's got a lot of not really listenable sort of wallpapery tracks. But it's good. Some of Medal of Honor Underground is quite good. See what else games soundtracks have we got. The Medal of Honor Airborne. I didn't like Giacchino returned to the soundtracks with Medal of Honor Airborne. I didn't like it at first. I thought it was phoned in and a bit lazy. But I kind of, after a while, I kind of got to like it. So that's not too bad. Well, the seam lines on this commanding stick of shouty direction giving is quite fiddly. Battlefield 1 and 2 soundtracks, not heard them. I've got the... There is one exception to all this nice orchestral stuff, and that is the Persona 4 soundtrack. That is just fantastic. It's just the most bizarre thing. Persona 4 soundtrack is fantastic. It's just weird. The guy that writes that soundtrack is just a genius. What else have we got in my collection of soundtracks? There's millions of them, but I've kind of forgotten most of them. I can't think now. My brain's actually stopped working. I'm too busy finding nubs and seam lines. Today my theory shall be mostly the Nub Finder General. Seam line, go away, seam line. Go away to another place. Unfortunately, I can't get my stick in there. I can't get my stick in there. Hang on a minute. Where's my wee sanding stick? There. I've not got a thin one of that. Oh, arse. What else are we doing in chat? Destiny. Yes, actually, Destiny. The original Destiny is a really good soundtrack. The Taken King. Oh, here you go then. The Destiny soundtrack, the Marty O'Donnell Destiny soundtrack is fantastic, and that's on my playlist. Thank you for reminding me. The expansion for the Taken King that wasn't done by Marty because he'd left at that point is pants. It's got no character. It's all horns. It's just rubbish. compared to Danny Elfman's stuff. It's just, Marty O'Donnell's stuff. The Destiny soundtrack is fantastic. I do like that. I'd load up my thing to see what the soundtracks I've got are, but unfortunately that will blow my computer up because we're doing the stream at the moment. How long have we been going? We're going for 2 hours exactly. And what have I done? I've cut about 20 things off a sprue, and I've done bugger all building. Yay! Shrek soundtrack. Really? No. Is that not just songs by other artists, which to me isn't a soundtrack, it's just a compilation of songs. If you're looking for something that's cool to watch and listen to, Repo, the Genetic Opera, is amazing. Oh, forget, I'm old, says Sergeant Bones. Medal of Honor European Assault wasn't a bad soundtrack, actually. The game was pap. The soundtrack was alright. Black, the soundtrack to the game Black, is actually quite good. It's a bit of a hard listen, but it is good. That was one of Chris Tilton's early works, I think. That's pretty good. Trying to think now. I should probably stop trying to think of them because they're just not coming to mind at all. So I did lose a lot of my collection recently, so unfortunately. I once went to a Nightmare Before Christmas performance where the film was played on screen but accompanied by live orcs, says Jordan Nash. Yeah, I've heard of that before. I do fancy doing that. Zach says, it's not going to be a silver green army for me. I'm doing copper brass with very heavy patina and white glow. Also, that's the whole Force glow eye colour. Also, Altered Carbon has an epic soundtrack. Not watched that yet. Yes, because you're doing a whatchamacallit army. Necron. Brass with a heavy patina. And oh yeah, that'd be quite nice. Get some of the blue stuff that gives the copper patina, but I can't remember what it's called. I forgot what it's called. It's the something or other something. The Citadel paint. You put it over the bronze and brass colours, and it gives it that kind of blue. Begins with V. What's it called? I've forgotten now. Anyway, it gives it that kind of bluey, tarnished copper effect. That would look brilliant. Well, this is not really helpful that I can't remember what it's called. Or tell you what it's called because my memory is pants today. I think I'm getting through the phase or something. I don't know. But I'll tell you what, though, some of the best music you'll ever hear is, if you like orchestra stuff and you like movie and TV soundtracks, where they're not just like song compilations, go online and have a look for companies that do library music. I can't remember the name of the one I use off the top of my head, but they're places that basically sell music to TV and movie companies. And they have loads of people on the books that just write music and they license it. So if you watch, there's one guy called Paul Mottram, M-O-T-T-R-A-M. He's very prolific. And if you ever watch any documentaries on BBC like Horizon and stuff like that, you'll recognise a lot of his pieces because they use a lot of his stuff. I've got a huge collection of his music because it's brilliant, it's great. Now normally you have to pay like a couple of £100 to download a track because they're designed for production companies. So I don't recommend you do that, but most of them do have like a preview option where you can listen to the whole track in a slightly lower than pristine quality, but it's still fine. And all I do is I listen to those and then record them onto my PC. And it just means I can build quite a nice large library of, in this case, Paul Mottram music and some others. But TV and movie library music, because it's all the best bits of movie and TV music. It's all the, like John Williams is what's the word I'm looking for? John Williams is very thematic, and that's why his stuff is popular, because everything's got a theme and it repeats and he uses themes. It's not just random wallpaper crap that's got no themes to it. And I can't remember the word for that either. I'm forgetting my words today. There you go, that's the shouty stick of commands and telling off. Done. But yeah, all the stuff in libraries, it's all that kind of thing. Okay, it's going to be tricky now. Get that little nub off there. But yeah, go and have a look. Just look up Paul Mottram. He actually runs a music service website. It's where all this stuff is hosted. And I can't remember for the life of me what it's called. But you can listen to it as a preview, and you can actually, if you can record it straight to your desktop while you're listening to it, you could buy it. But you're paying a lot of money because it's normally licensed out to production companies, so they buy a track and they can use it in their documentary or what have you. That's how it works. So yeah, library music's brilliant. There's some fantastic composers on there that you'll have never heard of, but you'd be surprised how many times I watch an advert or a TV program and go, oh, that's this track by this person, because I've heard it a million times. And you see them on everything from adverts, documentaries, all kinds of places. Right, the spiky thing around this servitor is a right ball ache to take the seam line off, because it goes right between all these spikes. Oh, I might not bother, because frankly it's never going to be seen any close up anyway. Oh, that's not so bad. Ooh, it's raining outside. We're in for a heat wave this week apparently. Well, heat wave, I just mean it's not going to be freezing cold. Reveldo Patina Green. What's the word I'm looking for? It's not verisimilitude. Verdigris. There you go. That's the word I'm looking for. Verdigris. There is a colour that Citadel do, which is basically a verdigris colour, but I can't remember what it's called. Oh, somebody tell me in chat. It's one of the technical paints, I think. And it's perfect for giving that kind of verdigris look to copper and brass, that kind of tarnished, you know, when like brass and when copper tarnishes and gets old and it goes blue. It's that, it's verdigris, it's what it's called, verdigris. And it's actually the name of the colour as well. Oh, what's the paint called? Kieran Keith says, alright my barber. Welcome to the chat. We're just cutting and sanding right now. And this will probably be what we'll be doing for the next 4 billion years. Because so far today, I've done 2 dudes. I've taken them off the sprue and now I'm cleaning them up. There you go. That's lovely, isn't it? That's lovely, that is. Yeah, worst accent ever. Did it repose anything that you can see Sarah Brightman? I don't want to know about... Oh, God, Sarah Brightman? Paris Hilton? You've just instantly put me off watching or listening to Repo ever. Verdigris is the word, yes, a couple of people said that. But what's the Citadel paint called? I've forgotten what it's called. Something nihil something oxide? Nihilanth oxide or something like that. Something oxide. Nihilak oxide, there we go, Paul, thank you very much. Yeah, Nihilak oxide. It's beautiful. It's just that's what it's for, it's to give that verdigris look. I'm tempted. I'll tell you what, Paul, I'm really honest with you. This thing I'm doing for e-models, the excuse me, e-models. This thing I'm doing for e-models, the skitter, I'm doing it the diorama. I'm resisting the temptation to take the Jar Jar Binks that you printed out, that Chris printed out for me. I don't know what I'm telling Paul, I should be telling Chris. Taking the Jar Jar Binks and painting it as a copper statue and putting that Nihilak oxide all over it, and then putting that in the diorama, just because of for the gits and shiggles. I might do. Although it does mean it has to then end up going back to e-models and I'll never see it again. Wow, this is all little fiddly seam lines. What have I started? Stabity Jar Jar Fox. Yeah. What's Fox's name though? What? What's Fox's name? My name is me. Beardy Man's. Wow, this is a right ball, like this seam line on this cloud of vapour. Come on now. Come on now. It's all wrinkly and crinkly, so it's hard to get the seam line out. There it is. Tell you what though, Duncan makes painting flesh look so easy. Yeah, it's not. Getting those nice smooth blends, I think there's things he's not telling you. because it's really not that easy to do that. Stabity Jar Jar Fox for the paint. What's Fox's name though? For the paint. What? I don't understand what you're saying, Chris. What are you saying? What is Fox's name for the paint? I don't know what you mean. I am not knowing what you are saying. You must translate to me. Getting the nubs off really thin spindly parts is always great fun. Not. I'm going to use a metal file for that, otherwise we're going to get snappity, never mind stabity. If you ever got a really thin part like a railing or an aerial or something that's got a nub on it, don't try getting aggressive with it. Just get yourself, hold it near where you need to do the nub, get rid of the nub if you can. Get a metal file and just slowly get rid of it, but do it in one direction. If you do it backwards and forwards, you weaken the plastic, and that's why your plastic bits snap. If you do it in one direction, it's less stressful on the plastic. Ibba-dib-dib-dib-boo. Doodle-doodle-doo-doo. When you're doing the sandy bit, you can do multiple directions because you've not got as much of a grip. But just don't put any pressure on. There's a little bit on the end there. Can I get that off with the knife bladings? Yes, apologies, no stabity today. Well, not so far anyway. You must have a name for it. What is... Oh, I see what you mean. What's my name for Nylak oxide? I've never used it, so I've not named it yet. I'll have to think of that when I use it. I've never used it. I understand what you mean now. Sorry, I was like, what are you on about? What's Fox's name? What? I was being obtuse. Obtuse. Oh. Sniffly. Remember, more than one, but less than three. One thick coat. I like the video he does where he's like, you know, you can paint it with 1.5 coats, thick coats. I don't know if any of you guys watch the Warhammer TV channel, but as you know, Duncan is like the guy that's always doing hosted the painting tutorials, and now he's joined by his best mate Peachy, who also does painting tutorials. And I like Peachy a lot, but I've got to tell you, because he's left-handed, for some reason watching him paint with his left hand, I don't know, it just doesn't work in my brain. My brain kind of goes, I can't watch this. You know, he's a good painter, and it's great stuff to watch, but it's just for some reason watching a left hand paint just makes my brain not work. I don't know why. I think it's because my brain tries to figure out how it would be like to paint with the left hand, and I'm like, I can't do it. It always puts me off a little bit. Okay, so that's that done. That's the servitor done. If any of you guys play Warhammer, tell me what the point of a servitor is, what it does. I don't know. I don't know what a servitor does. What? You weren't being acute? I'm always acute, but I can sometimes be obtuse. Yes, everybody's now saying what the name thing was. You must have a name for it. Thin your paints or the commissar will shoot you. Remember, more than one but less than three. I still remember the time I called Druky Violet something else to the Games Workshop guy. Somebody did say to me once they went into a Games Workshop and asked for a pot of Labia mermaids. And it was like, they got a look. It's like, what? And he kind of did it without thinking. Have you got any Labia mermaids, mate? What? And I have to say this because I think most people figure out why I do it, but somebody actually put a comment on one of my videos where I was doing that saying, why do you put those names up in the top left? And it's like, how do you explain a joke without being insulting? How do you say to someone, it's a joke, without actually sounding like you're being a smug git. I don't think I responded to it in the end. I knew it was somebody who knew what the Duncan videos were because they'd mentioned them before, so they knew what it was. It was like, why'd you do that? It's like why somebody asked me once, so in all serious, why I used the Canadian national anthem. I put the thing up where it goes, you know, our colonial cousins in America, and cut to the Canadian national anthem. And somebody actually put a comment saying, I think that's the Canadian national anthem. I'm like, yeah, that's kind of the whole point. There's no way to say to someone, it's meant to be a joke, without sounding like a jerk. There's just no way to... How do you politely tell someone that they've missed the entire point of a joke? There's no way to do it. Servitor is a slave robot thingy. Okay. Happens to me one time when I post a joke online. Yeah. Yeah. I mean, there's not getting a joke, but it's more like not recognising a joke is the hard bit, because you're like, I can't respond to this without sounding like a complete dick. Oh my god, why did you do that? Because it's funny, maybe, would be a good answer. Because humans have a sense of humour. There's just no way to say anything without sounding like a complete arse. Got a nub right on the edge here and it looks like gash because there's no way to sand it very easily. Some nubs are well placed, some nubs are in all the wrong places. Oh, by the way, folks, I have watching back last week's stream. I did notice that the noise gating on my microphone was a bit rubbish, so every time I went a bit quiet, it just cut the microphone off. I've adjusted it a bit, so hopefully, if I'm saying anything a little bit quietly, you can still hear me. It doesn't just cut off. If you noticed last week, anytime I said anything quiet or was doing something like sanding and there was nothing loud going on, the sound just stopped and cut off immediately. I've got a noise filter on the microphone on OBS and it was just set too delicately. It's just to get rid of background echo and noise, so I've had a fiddle with it and tell me how it sounds. Alright, still one left. Oh. Lol, this is going to be nice coming home to every Sunday after working all night long. Well, it's one of those things that you... I don't think it'll be some... the way I'm counting up... Well, I'll finish the sentence and the thought at the same time. The way I'm planning on doing this is that it's not going to be like close-up views of how to do things and me explaining ridiculously how to do things, because I can't get the camera that close anyway, because I need to be reasonably close to see what I'm doing with some things. I can't get the camera too close because otherwise I won't be able to paint tiny details. This is about as close as I can get the camera, so it's not going to be that you're going to be learning lots of things, but it's more something to have on in the background that you can listen to, hopefully. Although it's a bit one-sided, it's just me talking for like 2 or 3 hours. Sorry about that. So that's why I'm counting on you guys to ask me questions and stuff and do amusing things in chat so I can talk about it. Because otherwise, I'll just be sitting here sanding for 3 hours and you'd be like, this is boring. Okay, so that's the jacket, I think, done. How's that looking? Ooh, a bit lump and grumpin'. Bit more sanding, please, if you please. Thank you. I get the feeling I might need to seal some of these seams with the old sprue and goon. Right, I think that's that guy all cut up into pieces and sanded and cleaned. So, should we build him? I think we should build him. What are you doing in chat? Someone once asked why kittens twitch in their sleep, and I jokingly said it was them growing as we were watching. Unbelievably, loads of people believe me. I like that, Tony. I don't think any more about it until people started repeating it to me a year later. We had a conversation once with a friend. I just need to do a big coughing fit. Hang on a sec. Just in the microphone. Sorry about that. Coffee fit. We had a conversation many years ago with one of my friends who believed a lot of things you told her. She was easily persuaded about things. We'll take a quick break and do a chat for a bit.
She believed a lot of things you tell her. And we once convinced her, getting adult here, so I won't be swearing, but there'll be some adult conversation here. We once convinced her that the reason a boner was called a boner was because the human male genitalia had a bone in it. That's why it's called a boner. And she believed us. She totally believed it, that we had a willy bone. And it was like, how would she not know? How would she know otherwise? Obviously, no, there's a bone in there. Didn't you know that? That's why it's called a boner. Oh, I didn't know. It's telescopic bone. She believed it for a long time until we told her otherwise. Bless her. Any tips for using washes or shades? Says Nim Cinderin. Yes. If you're using Citadel shades, you can use them straight out the bottle, the pot, if you want to. If you need to thin them, you can thin them with water, but I don't recommend using water. If you're using Citadel shades, it's better to thin them with Lamian Medium, Labia Mermaids, the clear medium. It's a shade without any pigment in it. The reason being, if a shade is too intense for you, say you want a shade to be collecting nicely in the recesses but not tinting the whole thing, what you can do is put in some Lamian Medium. If you put it in water, and this is the same with any acrylic product, if you thin it with water, it breaks down the chemical bonds, the acrylic bonds in there, and it can break down the pigment, so it doesn't flow the same. It won't collect around recesses as well. It'll still look great. It just means that you get more like tide marks when you brush it on, and it tends to react to surface tension more. If you thin it with something like Lamian Medium or any acrylic medium, you can get like Vallejo clear mediums, matte or gloss, or you can use Pledge Floor Care Finish 2 times more shine, which is an acrylic varnish. That's also very good for thinning. That doesn't disrupt the acrylic binders in the shade, so it helps it behave exactly the same, but it's thinner, so it's less intense colour. What you're basically doing is you're not thinning it, you're not diluting it, you're thinning it. Or is it the way around? Yeah, it's kind of hard to explain. It keeps the same, it behaves the same way, but it's just less intense. So if you can avoid thinning with water, thin with something like Lamian Medium or any of the other sort of artists' mediums out there, or Pledge. If you don't mind a gloss coat, Pledge Pledge Wax, Pledge Floor Care Finish, or whatever it's called in your area. It just means it behaves the same way, but it's thinner and less intense. So if I'm, say, doing Agrax Earthshade, and it gives me quite a dark shade, if I paint the thing in Agrax Earthshade and it's quite dark, I'm thinking it's too dark. If you thin it down with some Lamian Medium, it'll be less intense and it will collect in the recesses but not darken the rest of the model so much. And it's a good way of doing it. So always try and avoid water if you can. When you're painting paint on a model, it doesn't really matter because the pigment is so intense there, you're not worried about that, you're looking for coverage. When it's anything like a wash or a shade and not just a paint, then if you can, thin it with something other than water. Same goes for inks. Vallejo's washes are similar. They're acrylic washes. If you're using inks like the Vallejo Game inks or any artist's inks, they are super intense pigments, and best to use those thin down. And again, use something like Lamian Medium or an acrylic medium of some sort, or again, Pledge Floor Care Finish or Pledge Multi-Surface Wax or Future or Clear, whatever you want to call it. It's quite a well-known thing. If you're doing shading with inks and not washes or shades, then you want to thin them down every time anyway. And again, Pledge /Future /Clear is an old standby for people making shades, making your own shades. Best tip for washes, slap it on, says Sergeant Bones. The willy bone is a thing in many species, says Paul. Yes, that's the point. We knew that, but it's not in the human species. But she didn't. She believed every word of it. We're like, yeah, it's just like these other animals. You get a bone in the willy. Hope your mum isn't watching, says Paul. It says Chris. So I got you wrong. Yes, probably is. White Knight says, I remember when I first saw the name changes in your videos, I assumed you were putting them in a translator or something. No. Has anyone built the Airfix 148 Defiant? Looking at build for a competition. Says Kieran. Whenever you say Defiant, all I think of is the USS Defiant from Deep Space Nine, so no. I haven't built it, Kieran, but it looks good. Brand new tooling. Oh, if it's a brand new tooling, it's probably alright, actually.
The Airfix stuff, the modern Airfix stuff, new toolings are actually really good. They use this really weird soft plastic, but they are very good. The problem with Airfix is that they've got this massive back catalogue, which they will be stupid to not do anything with, let's be honest, but they're really crap quality, a lot of the really old kits. And their new stuff is really good, but there's such a massive back catalogue and they don't churn out new kits very often that it kind of in a way tarnishes their brand, their name, because people think, oh, Airfix, oh yeah, they're really bad kits, they're not very good. But of course their new stuff it's brilliant, but they need to kind of work, they kind of need to churn things out more and faster to slowly filter out the old kits and get the new toolings on there, because they're lagging behind a bit. But so the new stuff is really good, so yeah. 2 times more shine, says Jordan Nash. The other trick with shades, by the way, I forgot to finish answering that. Again, if you're using, say, Citadel shades, the trick is to use a big brush, so use a shade brush or a brush that's kind of a decent size. Let's have a look. Not a big massive brush, but not a thin pointy brush. You want something large. Get a nice amount on your brush and just get it on the surface. Don't be delicate with it. Just if you're painting a whole thing in one shade, just get it on there, slap it on, as Ted would say. But then move it around with the brush. Try and do say a whole miniature figure in one brushful. Move it around so it's not pooling up and collecting too much at the bottom of areas like the bottom of the feet and things like that. Because you need to make sure when you've got it on there you get a nice even coat so it collects in the recesses, but it's not like patchy anywhere else. Just keep moving it around. If you need to get some of the shade off your brush on a piece of tissue, and then go back and keep moving it around, and then just leave it to dry for half an hour. I don't recommend hair drying shades. They don't really look the same when you hair dry them. It affects the way they sort of settle down and level out. So I do recommend for shades leaving them to air dry if you can. Cheers, Tony. Check out some of the reviews on YouTube for a Trumpeter Defiant. What is the Defiant? Is it a plane or a ship or what? Again, I'm just thinking it's the USS Defiant. I've done that much coffee. That much coffee. Oh, no. Right, should we glue this guy together before we call it a day? Get all the coffee, the litre of coffee out of my moustache. I want to build one sometime purely because I went to school with the lab called Paul Bolton. I don't know what we're talking about now. Who's Paul Bolton? All I'm thinking of is John Bolton from The Bill. Right. Bolton Paul turret fighter. I'm lost. I'm obviously out of my element there in that whole conversation. Oh, it's a World War II fighter. Okay, right, that makes sense. Okay, I've got you. Right. Let's build the dude. Now, I'm probably going to... I don't think he's got his arms over his chest. So, I might get away with actually completely building him. Although, I need to get around the back of his cloak. So what I might do is see how his arms go together. And if I need to, leave the arms off. But, let's see how he goes together. Let's get together! So first things first. Legs. I think we can plonk his legs on the stand, that's not a problem. So for this I'm going to be mostly using Tamiya Extra Thin. In fact, no, I'm not. For the legs, I'm going to use Tamiya Big Fat Glue. Big Fat Glue! Doesn't matter if it splooges out. I'm not too fussed, because there will be scenery going over this anyway. So we'll plonk his legs on there. Legs on. Bit off to one side, so we'll slide him across. Push. He's now stuck on there. Yeah, we'll do like terrain on his base anyway. So it doesn't matter if his legs, if his glue sploobs out a bit. The little dimple isn't in the middle. How rare! So that's that on there. I'll give it a few minutes, then I'll go around again with the extra thin just to extra stick it down. Trick with the extra thin and the normal glue is I found the normal glue better where you've got a large surface area to stick. Extra thin would work fine, but it's just easier to use the thick glue on there. Right, so what are we doing in chat? One of those aircraft that turned out to be rubbish in actual dogfight. Alright, okay. Big fat glue, TM, says Zadster. So we need 58, to which we attach a Stabity knife hand. Stabity knife hand, which is here. So that will go. Wait, that's the wrong. What? Wait a minute. Oh, I see. It's like he's holding the knife like that, like Stabity that way, rather than holding it like that way. I'm like, well, this hand's the wrong hand. What the hell? So his arm will go in there, and he'd have the Stabity hand. How? Like that. Now, do I want to glue that in, or do I not want to glue that in? I have to look at. If I glue it in now, it might make it hard to paint. But if I don't glue it in now, and I try and stick it on later, how much a mess is that going to make of the paint job? I have to kind of plan this carefully. See, if I wasn't gluing this cloak together, it would be fine to glue that on, but I know this has all got to go together like this, so and the seam line on the jacket is not too bad, because that kind of fits around the sleeve, so it's a natural seam line anyway. That looks like a natural seam line I wouldn't need to fill in, because you would have a seam down the middle of a jacket. But again, I wouldn't want to paint the jacket and then try and glue it together, because that would just be an abortion. It would just look like gash. So that's quite nice that all the seam lines on the jacket actually look like seam lines, apart from the one on the collar. But you could maybe fill that in with sprue glue, or just leave it and paint that little bit a different colour to suggest it's like a different part of the jacket. So we could actually get away with not filling that in. So I don't think I'm going to glue that hand on, I don't think. Well, let's get the rest of it together and see what it looks like. We can leave that for the moment. Front and back. Where is the back? The back is not here. Where is it? Did I not cut the back of his... Hello! Oh, there it is. Wait, did I trim that? No, I didn't trim this. Oh, fudge. Fudge-tacular. I totally didn't clean this up because it disappeared off to the side. Hang on. Let's get this done first. Just when you think you're about finished, you're not about finished. So, what are we talking about anyway? As always, if you didn't join us earlier on and you missed the announcement, if you are watching this anywhere other than YouTube, so as in you don't have access to the live chat, I am depending on the live chat to give me stuff to talk about. So if you just click on the little YouTube icon in the bottom right of the player, which is somewhere here, it'll take you to the YouTube page where you can join in the live chat and ask questions and have a good time. So feel free to join in. As always, if you are in the chat and you want to ask a question, if you can, please put it in big fat capital letters so I can see it, because right now I'm doing this and I'm not looking at the screen. So I look at the chat every now and then, but I can't sit here and look at the chat all night because I wouldn't be doing any work. And as always, if you want to, there is a super chat option. It's a little dollar symbol right down there at the bottom of the chat window. If you click on that, your text will be in big colourful box, so I can't possibly miss it. And it helps support this channel as well. So that would be brilliantly appreciated if you would like to. You don't have to, it's completely optional. But I say it helps keep this channel supported, so there you go. That's that one. It's like a light with a little house around it. Got a little one here. Can I clipper that one off? Just. Although this is going to be covered by the coat, so I don't really, I'm worrying about it too much. But we'll do it. You can see how long it takes me. It's going to take me to build an army based on how slowly I've done this. I mean, bearing in mind, of course, I'm doing this on camera and talking to you guys. So I'm not quite this slow normally, but it's not much slower than I normally am. There's that there. Will you brush on the primer for these guys? Oh God, no. If I can be bothered, asks Gino Valderrama. Hello there, Gino. If I can be bothered, I'll get the airbrush out and brush on some UMP primer. If I can be bothered. However, if it's a nice sunny day when I come to prime them, then I won't be bothering with the airbrush. I'll just get a rattle can of either Tamiya primer, depends on what colour I want, but either Tamiya primer if I want a white or a grey. I'll use the Citadel primers if I want black, Chaos Black. Or I might use Retributor Armour, the Citadel rattle can of Retributor Armour, because there's a lot of gold trim on these guys. And it's actually going to be easier to paint the whole thing gold first, and then paint all the other colours on top. So I'll probably... The thing with me is 99% of the time, I love model making, but I'm also inherently very lazy. I'm the laziest guy in the world. So if I can rattle can something and not have to airbrush it like base coats and primers, I will. Purely because airbrushing is good and awesome, but it's kind of a pain as well, because you get everything ready, you get your paints in, you do your airbrushing, then you've got 20 minutes of clean up and clean your airbrush out, and it's just a pain. Getting the compressor going, and it's noisy and everything else. So if I can use a rattle can, I'll use a rattle can instead for primers. Okay, that's that bit cleaned up. And so we're now gluing the things together, yeah. So we have the front and the back. Das ist richtig. Chest and gefahrten. Oops, excuse me. Charming, lovely. Chips are done. Wait for sausage. So now these can be glued together mit the thin glue, the extra thin. You've never used Tamiya extra thin before. It's a welding cement, which means it doesn't just adhere. It's not like a sticky glue. It actually melts the plastic and welds it together, because the plastic turns into liquid goo and then welds together. That's how it works. So you can just touch it to the edge of two parts. It's very thin, it will suck into the gap and seal it. You can use it as a filler as well on very small gaps. Now I would normally sort of sand that down a bit just to fill it, but I think that's going to be covered by the coat anyway, so I'm not particularly too fussed. So just touch the glue to that bit in the middle. It'll suck in, it'll melt the plastic, and the plastic will go like that, and then it'll go hard again and be locked together. So you're not really gluing them together, you're actually welding the plastic together. Gives you a bit more strength than non-welding cements. Okay, so that's that. Next is the back of the coat. Now I need to think now of I don't really have a choice, I don't think. I'm going to have to glue the coat together in its entirety, I think, because if I want to glue these two parts together later, I might be asking for, I don't know actually, I might be asking for trouble. Because if I start putting glue down here and it splooges out of the gap, I've then got glue coming out of where I've painted. However, I do have another plan, which may also work. An alternative plan, so I can paint the inside of the coat, is to not glue it onto the legs. That may also work. Okay, let's get this back of the coat on. That goes in the air like that, you see. Yeah, that's it. That glue's on there. A bit too much, but never mind. It's all glue for the glue god. A little bit of glue in there. Splooge. Okay. So that's that on there. Now what I might be able to do is if I glue the coat together but don't glue onto the legs, I can still get in the coat to paint the inside of the coat. That would be cool. That would certainly be cool. So let's do that, shall we? Bit of glue on that. Get that bit on that. Spladooge. Hold it in place. Run a bit of glue down the inside. A bit of glue down the inside there. Little bit of glue. What you gonna do? Guess that's down there. And what we can do is that there is a seam line there, but it kind of looks like a seam on the coat, like a natural seam that you would have in a coat. So I might get away with that. As it is, unfilled. At least that's my excuse. I could say it's a seam on the coat. Also, you get one down the middle there, but again, that could be a seam on a jacket. Because I'm just thinking I could seal them with the glue, but they're quite hard to get to for sanding, so I wouldn't want to knacker the details. This one here, I can't do anything I could do, but I might lose the rim detail around the edge of it. So what I might do when I come to paint this is actually paint the collar a different colour from this bit, so it looks like two different pieces of material, and therefore makes the seam more believable. It's not always about getting rid of every single seam on a model. Sometimes you can use them to your advantage, or you can disguise them in more natural ways. So if I run a little bit of glue down here, it fills it a little tiny bit, but not too much. But it makes it look less like a gap and more like an actual seam in a jacket. That's what it works in my head canon. So there you go. That's how it's going to work. So that's that. Hello, Foxx Wolf, says John. Hey, John. How you doing, matey? Afternoonings, John, says Zadster. John Bayer says, I've built the 148th Epic Defiant. It's a very good kit. Hi, Zadster. What is your favourite Chaos God in 40k? I don't really know much. This is where I have to confess that I know nothing about 40k, really, to be honest. I just like the models. But I am beginning to get very interested in it. And at some point I will try a game. But I don't really know much about it. I have got... Hang on, let me just glue this bit on, I'll tell you, because I've got to turn around and remind myself what it's called. I've not built that much Warhammer stuff. Again, completely honest time here. I have got some Chaos dudes, great thanks to Vincent at Mr. Loath's Model Making, who sent me his entire Dark Vengeance set. He bought a Dark Vengeance set a few years ago, never got around to doing it, and just sent it to me to have. So there you go, you can have that. Wow. And that's all the Marines, and then some Chaos dudes. I've got that. I've not touched it yet, though. And that's got Chaos guys in it, but I don't know that much about it. Chaos guys don't really do anything for me, so I don't look at their models and go, wow, that's cool, I need to make that. Whereas Imperial guys, I'm like, wow, that's cool, I need to make that. I do have a Mortarian. Grab it for you, hang on. The only Chaos model I've actually got, apart from the guys in the Dark Vengeance set, is I have got a Mortarian to build. If I can get it on camera. I've got this guy to build. Mortarian. Demon Primarch of Nurgle. So I've got that to do at some point. I only bought this. This isn't to play in my game. This is just because this looks rad, and I thought I want that because it looks awesome. So I do need to make that at some point. Looks fantastic. Yeah, it's about 13 feet tall apparently. So that'll be a fun build at some point. But I don't know. I like the dude on the thing with the three heads. Evertonian, the Everlasting, whatever he's called. I don't know the names. The guy it's the guy sat on the back of the big dragon thing, and it's got three heads. It's got a Nurgle, a Slanesh, and a something head. It's got three heads. Somebody tell me what it's called. Some Archaon the Everlasting, I think it's called. Something like that. Everliving, something. Hello. Can you believe we have snow here in Hamilton, Ontario, Canada in the middle of April? Dude, Paul, you live in Canada. You've always got snow. Isn't that how it works? Canada, eh? Are we supposed to be surprised there's snow in Canada? Isn't that the norm? But on the other side, oh Canada, My favourite national anthem in the whole world. Canada, the America we wish we had. It's true though, isn't it? If America was like Canada, the world would be a great place.
Threats of freezing rain here in Ottawa. Apparently we forecast for a nice summery heat wave. Not the heat wave, but it's going to be like 25 degrees here next week. Sun and sunness and happiness. Watch One Mind Syndicate. They do very good law vids and Q&As. Is that the guy that just reads out word for word the stuff that's on ID4chan? Or is that the guy that just decides to use really offensive language all the time for no apparent reason whatsoever? There's a few people that do law. One of them is just swearing all the time, and like it's just not funny at all, and destroys the whole any reason to want to watch it. And there's one guy who just literally goes to ID4chan and reads out every single article word for word and posts it up as a video. And I'm like, why am I watching this when I can just go and read it on ID4chan? I can't remember who they are, but there's one guy who he's just swearing all the time, and it's like, wow, you're just a millennial. Shut up. It's like, you don't need to swear profusely and there's nothing wrong with swearing, but he just sounds like somebody who plays Call of Duty all day, like a typical teenager Call of Duty player. And I'm like, yeah, you're not amusing in any way, so bye. No, it's not the norm. Sorry, Fox, that's a misconception. Wait, what was I talking? Oh, I see. Oh, I thought everything was snow. Funny thing with chat is I have to remind myself what I've said half an hour ago. I don't want to move to Canada now if it's not snowy all the time. And no, it's two guys that are very good and quite professional. Okay. I think I know who you mean then. I've probably seen most of them, but there are some that I look at them and go, yeah, I'm not listening to you ever again. I can't remember what the guy's called. He's just like, he'd make good videos if he didn't just swear like a 15-year-old Call of Duty player all the time, which seems completely unnecessary. Glued to the sprue, yes I do. Oh wait, he's not talking about my swears. Haha, Fox. Oh, they're the guy that they have like a set where there's a table in front of them. Behind them's like a fake brick wall with fake plants growing up, like it's part of a scenery piece. There's one channel where they talk about stuff and they've got this like scenery piece behind them with these massive bricks and like ivy growing up and cracks in it and stuff. Is it them? I can't remember now. But yeah, there is one guy that just literally just reads out word for word stuff that's on ID4chan. I'm like, why are you making these videos? What is the point? And yet there's never a comment. Nobody ever comments saying, why are you just reading out stuff from somebody's website? That's really shit. I did a swear. But I'm not swearing like a 15-year-old Call of Duty player, so I'm allowed. Okay, so that's his jacket together. There's nothing else that needs to directly go on the jacket. That's a really, look at that. I'm gonna like be having nightmares painting that, but it's gonna be great fun. I enjoy 40k theories. Is that the one where he just reads out the stuff? There is one, and like I say, he just literally reads out ID4chan. It's like, yeah, you've not written any of this. You shouldn't get credit for just reading out somebody else's hard work. Shall I attach the head of heads, or shall I not attach? Yeah, I can get a brush in there. That's no problem. Oh, I can get a brush in there and start brush. Look at that head. That head's brilliant. I love that head. I like these masks that just kick ass. They remind me very much. Now, most of you might not know what this is, but many years ago, Mahoney, I think Marvel or somebody, I'm in DC, did some Doctor Who comics, but it was the fourth Doctor, Tom Baker. It was that Doctor, and there was one where Doctor Who is on Earth and it gets invaded by robot Roman soldiers. It was called the Iron Legion, and that glue's not doing anything. Fabulous, darling, fabulous. It's called the Iron Legion, and they're basically robot Roman soldiers from a parallel world where the Roman Empire never collapsed, and now they have robots, and they look like that. They kind of remind me of that with these flat faces. Man, I like that face.
That's why when I paint these guys, I kind of want to give them all the helmets and not the boring human faces. I also want to make sure I've got some glue in there. So that is the head on. And if you've never used a Tamiya thin before, it does evaporate away. It doesn't leave a big mess. There's a little bit there I've got on there a little bit. But it's very easily, if you ever get like lumpy bits where I don't know how I've got a load of glue on there, but I have, you can just sand it away very gently. It's not a problem. Okay, so it's going to be hard to get in there, under the jacket, under here. But if I prime it all gold, and then if this was, say, red, I'd just paint up to here and round the back, because then you're not really going to see too much behind that. So that's doable. I can do all that. That's fine. I should be able to paint the head quite easily. That's no biggie. Can I glue this arm on? That arm sticks out there. That would not necessarily prevent me from painting in the coat. So I might just glue that arm on. This arm is just his hand. Now I will have to struggle to get the suit jacket in there, but once he's got his arm on there, there's a lot of things you're never going to see on the table, because these are only going to be tabletop. So if I glue that hand on, is it going to cause me any problems? Not really. Not once it's all primed and had a shade. I'm not going to be struggling to paint a lot of detail on that. So I think I can glue that hand on. I'll probably regret it horribly. You watch. Let's get it glued on anyway. Let's glue it on. Ooh, hello. It's kind of a weird way round. Now the glue's disappeared. It's the downside of the extra thin. It does evaporate away quite quickly. You may be surprised to learn how much actual fumbling and oops actually happens when I do a build that you don't normally see, because when I do a video it's all carefully curated and edited and it looks like I know what I'm doing, but you know what, in reality I don't know what I'm doing. A lot of the time I haven't got a bloody clue. So yeah, the hand's going to get in the way of painting the chest armour, but by the same token, if I paint the gold first and then the red colours for the armour or whatever it is, by the time I get round to painting the hand, the chest armour will have been painted, so it's not really going to cause me any problems there, I don't think, other than actually getting some glue in there, which is a bit challenging but not impossible. So that should be fine. It's not going to cause me any major issues, I don't think. Besides, I'll probably have to make loads of these over the years, so there you go. Let's have a look. Have you played DayZ, says Gino. Nope. Nope. Can't be a genuine 40k figure, and he has one heavy coat. I see what you did there. Well, swears is the norm in Scotland, Ghost Lyle says. Well, that's true. It's true, that is. Paul D. Tomaso. So I'm currently building Pretty Armour version 2. It's a third-party frame arms girl kit. Ooh, flesh tones. Joel Walker, we have a new Canadian seasoned sprinter. Just got home from walking dog. It's awful. I have Space Doc channel. Great Who episode. TK. Hey, TK. Just squeezing in a few moments of watching while cooking ribs on the barbecue. Oh, ribs on a barbecue. You've got warmness. I'm fine, thank you, TK. The weather's just kind of gloomy and slightly misty here, says Zadster. It was gloriously sunny yesterday. We had that, exactly. We just had freezing rain, but other than that, hi. What's best in life, says Gino. Warms. I don't care what happens in life, as long as it's warm when it happens. That's fine. I can live with that. It'll be nice to have some proper light for painting and fettling. It'd be nice. See, what I really look forward to is in the summer. And I meant to do this last year and I never did. What is really cool... Actually, I don't want to glue that arm on so I can get into that pocket. If I can't reach it to paint it, you're not going to see it on the tabletop. Let's just be honest. I planned last summer, when it was really nice, to sort of sit in the garden every now and then. Just go and sit out in the garden and get some building or painting done. Sadly, I never did. Because I was either not around or not free on those kind of days, or it just wasn't that kind of weather. There you go, just touch that glue to the arm joint. And that should glue the arm in quite nicely. Except it doesn't. Why you no fit, arm? There we go. Oh no, something going on with his arm here, a bit weirdness. Okay, that'll do. So that's what I'm hoping to do this summer anyway, is maybe get a bit of that done, outdoor painting. And that's why I got myself the little plastic, let me show you. This little plastic Warhammer painting tray thing. The Warhammer, the Games Workshop. All the paints fell off. Little Warhammer plastic painting tray so I can sit in the garden with that and my paints and stuff. Right, that's that on. Do 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 do. A bit of extra glue. Sticking all the things with glue. So yeah, we've got these seam lines here, but they're going to look just like actual seams on a this is a vehicle then, on an outfit. So we'll more than get away with those, so I don't need to worry about those. I'll just put some glue in them to soften them up a little bit. So the thing I'm having to force myself to do is, if this was like a display model, I would be like, I need to fill that seam line. But in reality, it's a tabletop model, quite literally, because this is my army, that you're only ever going to see at like that kind of distance away, from like a mile away on a tabletop. It doesn't need to be the most intense paint job ever. So I'm going to need to force myself to be able to do quick paint jobs, not worry about getting every single little detail, and not worrying about getting rid of every single little seam line. No. What's the best in life? To crush your enemy, to see them driven before you, and to hear the lamentations of the women. I like that. And Oreos and milk. What kind of Oreos? None. Oreos are boring. Americans can't do... Sorry to tell you this, Americans. You don't know how to do chocolate. We just need to not have that conversation any further than that point. Is that you guys in America, you don't know how to do chocolate. You just don't. I'll hear no argument to the contrary. You just don't. You don't make chocolate like the Europeans. We know how to make proper chocolate. Your chocolate and Oreos and things are just boring. They're bland. Oreos taste like cardboard. Give me some penguin biscuits or bourbon biscuits. They're proper biscuits. Cheese and onion. No, sorry, wrong stream. In the name of pineapple, stop, says Ghost Lyle. Right, so we've given him the pointy stick of shoutiness. Now he would go on here like this, you see. Pa-ba, like that. Da-da-da, he's going to like rock out. But what I'm going to do is I'm not going to glue him on at all. Because if I glue him on, I'm a bit screwed with the coat. If I leave him off, I can get in there with the coat colour, the interior coat colour. So that is him pretty much done. I've got this servitor that I need to glue on the back somewhere, somehow. It doesn't just nebulously says, attach it wherever you want. Attach it how? It doesn't have to give you a way to... You just have to slap it on like that. So it just sits around on his back. So I might leave that for the moment, because if I glue that on then... Well, man, you're going to have to though, aren't I? I'm going to have to, because if I don't glue it on now, I'm never going to be able to glue it on later. So what I might have to do is actually just shut the hell up and just glue him on like that. Because I'm going to have to, aren't I? Gonna have to. Oh, because I can't glue him on later, because I'll just absolutely make a hash of the paint job. So, no choice but to glue that on somehow. And it would seem the collar is a good place to glue it, perhaps. Mayhap. I'll have to figure that out. I'll need to do some careful wiggling and thing of that. So that needs to be glued on. So yeah, I'll leave that unglued. So, how long have we been going? We have been going for, holy crap, almost 3 hours. Well, there you go. There's a live stream. 3 hours and we've done one dude. How impressive is that? Are you impressed by my mad skills? One dude. And I've only got like 9 others to build from this particular kit. So, oh, hang on, I've forgotten this bit. Hang on. I'm not finished yet. Oh, bum cheeks. I've got this bit to glue on yet. That needs to go on yon colliery colonist there. Apparently, and I should have done this before because now it won't fit. Oh, fudge! Oh, fudge! You stupid fool! Well, that was well played then, wasn't it? Oh well. Will it fit on? Yeah, it won't fit on now. Bum cheeks. I'll try and get that on later. I'm sure I'll be able to get it. Oh, there you go. No, I won't. I'm sure I'll be able to get that on later on. No big problem. Leave it off for now. Anyway. Right, that's going to do us, I think. So we got one guy done. Take about 18 months for me to build the rest of them if I just do the work at weekends on this live stream. So expect more of the same next week. More building and sticking and swearing. But we need to give some stuff away. We need to give some stickers away. And I shall get a piece of paper and a pen. And I nearly turned my computer off by accident then. Get a piece of paper and a pen. Where did I put my pen? There's my pen. Right. Have my little Warhammer notebook. Yeah, it's really nice, isn't it? Let's write some things down. So I can write the winners down. So what we're going to do a giveaway, and it's just like we do on the e-model stream. I'll just ask a question. It's the first answer I see in the chat with the correct answer will win a wonderful Model Making Guru sticker that I will send to you in the post and everything. So now I've got to think of a sticker. Let's have a quick look at the chat there first. The Grasshopper walks into a bar and the bartender says, "We have a drink named after you," and the Grasshopper says, "You have a drink named called Steve." I like that, John. Nim, I love Cadbury chocolate. Zadster, proper chocky and biscuits. Com nom nom nom. Oreos are rubbish bourbons. Yeah, they are rubbish. They've just got no flavour. Lidl do some surprisingly good and cheap Jaffa cakes. Oh yeah. Gino Valderrama, serious question. How much does the surface texture of your primer affect the base and subsequent coat? Will a streaky primer coat show through? No, but it may affect the way that the primer actually... If you mean streaky like it, you can see through it in places. It may affect the way the paint grips because the paint grips to the primer. So if it looks like streaky, like say it's a white primer, some bits you can see the plastic underneath. You just need to make sure it's a proper good coat. Otherwise, some paint may not grip and that defeats the whole point of priming it. Most primers, if you're getting streaks in your primer, you're probably not doing it right. Most primers will be fine. If you want a really easy time, use rattle can primers. They're a million times easier. If you're using Vallejo primers, stop using Vallejo primers because they're the worst primers in the world and you'll just have sadness. Leet model skill, says Zadster. Yeah, I built one thing. Ghost Lyle says pineapple many times. You still have more than me on the Unicorn PG. Yeah. It's going to take a while to get this done, isn't it? I just need to get all these done so I can actually get on with things like my Imperial Knight that I've got. I need to get that built. I've got my Valkyrie, because this will be things like my Valkyrie I'll need to build. I'll do it as, well, I might do that as an actual video build. My Imperial Knight, I've got to build 3 of them, so I might do them as one as a video build and the other 2 on stream. But we'll just hang out on a Sunday and do stream. So anyway, let's think of some questions. Right, I've got to think of some questions now. Hang on, that's a sad face. Oh, I see, from Grinnell. There you go. I've got to think of some questions now. Arse, I've got to think of some questions. Okay. I'll do you some Googling questions, so it means you've all got to run off for a little bit and do some Googling, so therefore it evens out the playing field a little bit. Okay, let's have a think. Right, remember, this is like on emods now. I'll go from the first answer in the chat, so wait till I say go. It'll need you to may need you to run off to the Googles. And it's the first answer I see on screen, and I see the answers the order they actually arrive at YouTube, not you see it tailored to you. It's only a stick, I wouldn't worry about it. We'll do this every week. So here's the first question. Well, here's a question. Stargate SG1. Now you may have to go, if you don't know this, you can go and Google it. And I'll give it a bit before I say go. So Stargate, only a couple of minutes, TK. You've already got stickers anyway, but you can have stickers if you want. Stargate SG1. What is the iris on the Stargate in Stargate Command made of? Go. Beef, says Scott Sutherland. Oh, beef. It all goes quiet in chat now because you're all going, Google, what the hell is the iris made of? Blue? No, not blue. Salt and Dunkelgelb. Yeah. What flavour Dunkelgelb? Oh. 47? Some same thing Mexican? No. What is the iris made of on the Stargate? Not quite, Miskatonic. No, not quite, Scott. Hang on, I better just check, hadn't I? 'Cause I'll just make sure I actually know the answer to this properly. You keep answering. I'll just make sure I've got the right answer going. Stargate iris. Let me just double check. Doodle-doodle-doo-doo-doo-doo-doo. Wow, is it actually going to tell me what it's made of? Oh, hang on. Okay. I want both. I want both. Oh, there we go. Right. Okay, looks like Zach is the first one with trinium. Trinium? Yes, trinium. There we go. Good job, Zach. You win yourself a... And they said e-models then. You win yourself a model making guru sticker. So all you need to do is send me an email with your name and address. I'll put my email address in the chat. It's gmail.com. That's my email address. Just put me an email there with your name and address and I'll get a sticker sent out to you. Okay. Doodly-doodly-doodly-doo. Yeah. Don't worry if you didn't get it or if you didn't come through first. It's just a silly sticker, and we'll do this every week anyway. I don't think we'll have hundreds of people watching, so I think at some point you'll all have about 6 stickers. Think of another question now. Let's think of a question. So it was Zach. Stickers. I'll make sure I tick them off as I do them. So Zach, make sure when you send me an email, you put down your YouTube name as well, so because I don't know, you necessarily know your real name for the people that win. So we've got Zach. That's a thing of question. The very start and several times during this video, I mentioned the theme that my army will have, my Warhammer 40k army, the colour scheme. What will that be? Go. What's the theme of my army? Zadster says the lag on Firefox is more than when I use Chrome. Yeah, you'll have to answer the question last week and it should come through in time. This is my waiting for answers music. Bam, straight away. Nim Cinderin, Principality of Zeon. Nice one. So Nim, there you go. Lovely jubbly. Let's do one more. Let's do one more. I'm looking around the room trying to find something I can ask you a question about. Can't think of anything. Okay, let's think of a question. Give you another look it up on Google question. It's like doing a pub quiz where you're actually where you're supposed to look on Google. It's in the video description, says Nim. Yeah, but you have to read it, and you have to remember that and read it. Let's have a look. Thinking of a question. I can't think of one. I am rubbish. Can't think of one. You know how hard it is to think of a random question. Or know something that I know the answer to without having to look it up myself. Damn it, I can't think of anything now. Okay, let's do this simple. I'm going to write a number down on the back of my hand between 1 and 100. No, that's taking forever. between 30 and 60. What number have I written on the back of my hand? Go. This would be easy. I couldn't think of a question. It's rubbish. And I can't say between 1 and 100 because that'll take you forever. So what number have I written between the number 30 and the number 60? Between 30 and 60, what number have I written down? There's the pen. So you see, I can't have cheated. John Bayer says, what is 46 plus 1? More maths than I can do. I just got here. How many stabbings have we had? None, I'm afraid. Miskatonic. 47, no. 47, no. No, it's between... Go slightly. It's between 30 and 60. No, no. No, no, no. No. No, no, no. No. Why is everybody saying 47? What is it with 47? I don't know what the number 47 is all about. Keep going, keep going. Nobody's got it yet. Deedle-dee. Nope, 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 nope. Nope. 36, no. 32, no. $1. I'll buy that for $1. No. No. 59, no. This may actually go horribly wrong as you all forget what numbers you've actually said already. Ghost Lyle is between 30 and 60. This was a really bad idea, wasn't it? Keep going, keep going. No. Oh, this was a bad idea. 2 weeks later, no. Oh, no. Some of you have been close. Thank you, Zach. I've got your email. I have it. This was the worst question in the world because it's going to be hours before somebody gets it right. I can see now. JS Idaho, it's between 30 and 60, the number. Scott. Not quite you, mate. Not quite. 53, 45, 44, 8 million, 59, 39, 577, 57 even. Bit eager type in there, Kieran. Was this a really bad idea? We're going to be here all day. Especially when I'm dying for a wee as well. Cheese and onion. Because there's no guarantee anybody's actually going to get it within the next like 5 hours because you don't all know what you've all said. Did I choose like the worst number in the world between 30 and 60? Nope, nope, nobody's got it yet. Oh my, what have I done? A few of you have been very close. No, it's a whole number, Chris. It's a decimal. Oh, this was a really bad idea. I've just broken the entire whole point of competitions and giveaways now, haven't I? I've now got to sit here and stare at numbers going up on my chat screen until somebody gets it right. So I'm suffering myself. This is the worst. This probably makes for terrible viewing as well because all people can see is the desk. I can't put my other hand on the desk because I've written on the back of my hand. This was the worst possible idea in the world. I'll never do this again, I promise. Bang, there we go. Tony Blackwell, 43. Well done. God, it took forever. Wow, that was just hard work. There we go, Tony Blackwell. Cool. That was the worst possible question I've ever asked. I will never ask that question again because it was a stupid question to ask. Brilliant. So all three of you guys, Tony, Zach and Nim, send me an email, modelmakingguru@gmail.com. I put it in the chat earlier. I'll put it in again just because I know the chat's suddenly... I've made the chat go up really high now. makingguru@gmail.com. Or pop me a message on Facebook or private message on Facebook or anywhere else. Whatever way you normally get hold of me. Pop me. Oh, I've had one through. Just give me your name and address. Thank you very much, Nim. Mup. Wow, that's not a real word. Thank you very much, Nim. And I'll get a sticker sent out to you. I'll probably get it done sometime this week. Won't be. I'll do them all in one go. I've got to go and get some envelopes. So give me a couple of days. I'll go and get the sticker sent out to you. But that's going to do us for this stream. I'll go and glue those bits on because I forgot to glue that bit on because I'm special. Join us again next week when I might actually get a second figure done. You now get to see how slow my building process actually is. It's really slow. Not quite as slow as like when I'm just sitting here talking to you guys, but it's not a fast process. Now you know. But that's going to do us. So thank you very much for watching, from me and from little fella here. Next week we'll do the same thing. I am still working on episode 5 of the Imperial Skitter build. That's painting the figures, Imperial Skitter. I'm getting the figures painted up, so they should be hopefully done in the next day or two. As always, it's an eModels build, so don't forget it goes live on eModels YouTube channel first, and then it goes on my channel a week later. So it's going to be at least a week for that video to hit for non-Patreon. If you're a Patreon supporter, don't forget, of course, you get to see eModels videos the moment they go live anyway, so you get them a week before everybody else. If you would like to help support this channel, if you're not a patron already, do feel free. Just go to patreon.com/modelmakingguru. You can support from anything you want, from as little as $1 a month. You've been more than welcome. It helps keep this channel going, it helps support this channel, keeps me making content. You can offer as much or as little as you want. It's entirely up to you. If you do the top tier $100 a month, I will build and paint to a skill level 5 build a model for you, and it's either a Gundam, a Gunpla of some sort, or some sort of Warhammer kit. Have a look on the words down the right hand side for the different pledge types. You can see the kind of things you get. After 12 months you get to pick a model that I build and paint for you, and I'll be honest with you, if I'm building a Gunpla or a Warhammer for you at skill level 5, you're getting about 600 quid worth of model. So there you go. It could be 600-700 quid worth of that. If I was a commission, I'd probably charge 600-700 quid or more. So it's all good fun, but that's entirely up to you. You can pay $1 a month if you want, but you don't have to. You don't even have to help me out at all, but it's just nice if you'd like to. But yeah, we'll do this again next week. I'll see if I can get something up in the meantime. I appreciate it's a week between this going up for eModels and then to you guys, but if not, we'll still hang around anyway. Don't forget, I'm on the eModels live stream tomorrow night, 9 PM BST on the eModels YouTube channel. Me and Ted and Chris and I will be up doing that. But that's going to do it. So thank you very much for watching. Thanks for joining in the chat, everybody. We'll see you again next week. I will now go for a massive wee, because I really need to go for a massive wee. And until next time, thank you so much for watching. Take care of yourselves. Go make something awesome. Go be awesome. It's you. I'm talking to you guys there. Be awesome. 3D look. Whoa, 3D effect. Adios, amoebas. Unfortunately, I can't fade out now, so I have to go and press the button. So I'll just sit here and do this. And then... Oh, hang on. There we go. Oh, I really need to go for a wee. Oh.